Welcome to the Freehold Vanishings session 4. Got it right this time. How are we all?
Good.
Yeah, pretty good.
So yeah, I'm just going to cut straight to it this evening because you know why you're here. You know the shit you walked into. You know that last session you had a certain hunch about a character, about Jenny Floss, that turned out to be, well, you pretty much, you know, from what you got. Thing is, during this session we'll probably tell, I mean, would you have told him the night before, or should we do this?
I'd have gone straight to his from the field.
Okay, well we can do that after we can do that after this, because this would be like the beginning. If you'd had an episode of a scary program or something, you'd have that little bit at the beginning, you know, a little bit before the credits roll or whatever. And this would be another of Michael's dreams.
Yeah.
That he has not yet brought to the attention of anyone else. But it's fine.
Has Ben got his wheel? His chart?
Yeah,
We need to make
it's
sure.
alright, he's not involved in this dream.
It doesn't matter.
Does Michael have dreams? Actually, no, we don't want to know if Michael has dreams about Lexi. Okay. He's best to have
How
that.
much more has been added to that since we started?
A lot. It is literally, it's not just a spider diagram, it's turning into a millipede. What does this one say? Just don't speak it out loud. Right, yes, very good shout.
That's both singular and plural.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Okay,
I like how it took you a minute there.
well, dark and sinister moment incoming. You're not sure if it's a dream or a memory. Fainter than the last, though everything has a pearlescent sheen, as though wet or seen through the eyes of some predator or stalking beast. Faceless shapes about you are talking amongst one another. He's out of control. A voice like rustling leaves. We need to be more careful. A gurgle like water going down a plug hole. Try telling him that. Sharper, more jagged, cold. Then all are shushed with a beastly guttural rumble. The much larger figure continues to dispassionately shovel dirt, obscuring a charred green jersey and finally a face, leaving only a child's pale wrist poking out through the ground like a small and sickly sapling, donned with a digital watch bearing the initials JW. Now, it's one of those dreams where you start to think, hey, wait a minute, I'm in control of the camera here.
Mm. So,
what would be your first instinct?
I'm going to have like a 360 look around myself to see what the surrounding area looks like.
Okay, roll me an insight. Oh, actually, would this be imagination because it's dreams? I'd say imagination because it's a dream one.
Okay.
You're the guy in charge.
Can you get your
4 and 2.
Okay, so you got 4. Okay, so you basically see probably 6 or 7 shapes. The largest is directly in front of you, as though you're watching from sort of above where he's shoveling dirt. You can't see the faces, you can just see the shadows of them amongst trees. There is like sort of that eerie forest smoke that you get in cheesy horror films.
So I can't tell where I am apart from the forest.
Nope, you can just see forest and it's dark and there's something as though like a car's parked over a hill or a little rise and you're being backlit by that, so you can't see any faces, you can just see shapes. Any reactions, or would you just simply stand there and watch?
I'm just going to stand there and watch, because, I mean, even though I know I can move sort of thing, it's still a dream in a way.
You basically, you stand there and watch. Roll me a cool roll. This is basically to try and, because you are essentially watching somebody be buried here. Right.
Well, need to keep
7 and 5.
Yep.
So, okay, you manage to sort of somehow not like freak out and stuff, and you watch it, and eventually you just find yourself kind of drift awake and go like, oh, that was awful. That was really awful, and you just like reach for your walkie-talkie and, you know, from your house, and just like trying to get hold of Harrison's character, Fred's character, because Fred's character is Harrison. And that would be the beginning where the credits would roll and that sort of thing. We would cut to a recap of what happened to Chloe at the police station. Now, Chloe at the police station, you'd be probably there for a good couple of hours before the rest of the police lot sort of turn in for closing time or shift change or whatever you want to call it. And what would you be doing in that time? Bear in mind, the woman who was sort of on guard is now just basically laid unconscious in a file room. So you'd have a good maybe hour or two to be able to turf the place, do whatever you want.
Well, I wouldn't spend an hour or two because there's an unconscious woman.
Okay. Would you actually try to revive her, or would you?
I'd give it a few minutes first.
Okay.
Because if I leave her for 2 hours, they'd be questioning me like, why didn't you try and get help?
Yeah. Although she doesn't, they might not know how long she's been out for.
She probably would when she realised what time it is.
Maybe. Let's give it a.
Try not to be too dodgy on that.
Oh no, she doesn't know.
Right.
So you have time to.
We'll give it 20 minutes.
Okay. In your 20 minutes, what would you do?
I'd be having a look through the files for anything related to this case.
Make me an insight roll.
That's a 2 and an 8.
Reroll your 8 because that exploded.
And a 4.
Okay, so that's 12. So that's a success with 2 shifts. Out of these boxes, you basically find the names of the children. It doesn't matter at this point what the names are. I've got them written down somewhere. I just can't be fucked to find them. So you basically find the names of the children, their addresses, that sort of thing. You basically, what else would you have out of that? Because you've got 2 shifts. So is there anything else you would look for?
Time to make a photocopy of them?
Yes. That would probably be both shifts.
That's fine.
To make copies and then stash them about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. Anything else?
Then I'll phone an ambulance.
You phone an ambulance. Okay, good shout. Very honest of you. Now, do you leave the woman alone and wait for the ambulance people, or do you just kind of...
I'll wait.
Okay, the ambulance...
Because the last person she saw was me, so she'll think, where's she gone?
Now, the ambulance people turn up with a squad car, because obviously that goes out on the radio and somebody's like, wait a minute, that's the PD, that's that's our base. Well, what the fuck's going on there? And it doesn't take them long to realise that there's only one person in there and it's you. Now, the police turn up and they're like, commending you and shit, sort of going, this, really, really clever, good response, thank you for doing that. I know you were there under, difficult circumstances and stuff. The agents haven't quite told us. And they're about to sort of have one of their guys give you a lift home, and basically just sort of say, well, we can't leave you, can't take you overnight. We've got to have you home by dinner and stuff. You're a minor after all. And the radio just goes like, shh, and there's a voice on the end, just like make me insight, or make me insight, because insight's probably the perception role of this thing.
Read people's situations.
Okay, you've got the 4. It's Barnes. You first think it's Noble, but then you realise that maybe Noble was speaking to Barnes, kind of ripped the phone off him or the radio off him, and just do not let her go. She's under watch. She's under house arrest. Do not let that that troublemaking little shit go. Blah, blah, blah. And basically just the cops all sort of roll their eyes and are like, okay, so you can see between them, even though they're sort of facing away from you, it's like rock, paper, scissors, go. You're the one who's watching her. So now you're being taken home, taken into the house, and your parents are being told that you're under watch for the night. So you just walk through the door. What's the reaction? I would say, the parents, the police have come. They've sort of said that there's no real danger or anything, but they're watching you, and they've kind of packaged it rather than you being dangerous or anything, they've packaged it so it's for your safety.
So what period of time are they watching her for?
They're going to watch her overnight. There's basically going to be a cop car outside a house overnight.
So would that make them?
Would that make them what?
The Night's Watch.
It might very well make them the Night's Watch. It's only one guy. It's either going to be Huey, Dewey, or Louie. I think Dewey was busy. He went home, so it's probably Louie. They all, it could be. There might be about 6 or 7 of them, but you basically just see Huey, Dewey, and Louie because they all always appear in threes and stuff. So now you're at home. you know, the reaction with your parents, we don't have to do that scene with your parents because it's obvious what would happen. They'd be like, you know, asking you questions and stuff. Would you tell them? What would you tell them? Would you give them any kind of bullshit thing, or just be like, oh no, it's just for my own safety, there's been something happen?
I'd just say they've been messing about. They're accusing me of things that just aren't true.
Okay. Well, your mum sort of turns to you and is like, well, have you heard the news? 2 more children have disappeared. That's 2 more, you know, that if it keeps growing like this, maybe 3 next time. You know, you could be next. I'm really glad we've got a play. And so your mum's like really happy about it. Like, you know, she keeps going out and bringing hot chocolate out to the guy to keep him, you know, he's going to be well fed through the night, literally. You can actually see her waking up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to go and take him a cup of Joe out. And, no. And, although that would probably wake him up. No.
A cup of Joe.
A cup of Joe, a cup of char.
No, I'm aware of the reference.
Okay, that's fine.
I was somehow trying to make it into a devious pun.
Oh, right, okay, that's fine.
Cup of block.
Who's Joe? No.
Yeah. Ben seemed to do it without the use of the pun.
Yes. Anyway, so you're in your room, and after a short while, you get, you know, there's a phone call. Phone rings, and you hear, you know, your dad sort of gets it and goes, no, you know, she's grounded. And your mum sort of goes, no, you know, she's in for the night. You know, what's a phone call gonna do? She finds out, and she shouts up the stairs and goes, Chloe, Tori's calling for you.
Okay.
You take it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, Tori, basically the gist of this thing, she's like, we've got to keep this short. You know, it's not looking good. I don't know what's happened with Michael and Harrison, but you know, it doesn't look good. I saw Michael; he looks really spooked. How did it go with the agents?
Not good.
What's
They didn't
not
really
good?
tell me much that was very useful, and instead they just started accusing me of everything, and they went and decided to just dump me in the police station before I could really find much out.
No, you didn't piss them off, did you? You didn't like permanently push their buttons and try to infuriate them, did you?
I think they kind of did that to themselves by the way they were asking me questions.
Okay. What did you find? You know, I heard they took you to the station. What did you find? Did you find anything?
Well, I might have managed to get a couple of files.
Okay. On.
Some of the missing people.
Okay. Do autopsies, you know, things appear in this at all?
They might.
Would you like to spend a penny?
Who knows what was in the files?
Would you like
I
to
just
spend?
copied some. Sure, why not?
Okay. Now, for that Benny, what appeared in these files legitimately? I mean, they'd be basically like case files.
Yeah, I suppose. You could
I think
have,
from the amount of stuff that's in there, you would have been able to photocopy maybe 1 or 2 pages. I'm thinking the rap sheet for the kid, vital stats, and something else.
What he was doing the Tuesday before.
I'm going to say I completely should have picked up a
What about-
completely irrelevant folder. It would have been hilarious.
That was only if he got the the critical fail.
Would on the other page been? Could you have on that like the report, the police report?
Yeah, not the coroner's report, but the report basically of the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she hears that and she's like, okay, so what do you know from it? Do you know anything that can help us in this? Have you spoken to Harrison and Michael?
No, I've literally just been at the police station and I've just got home.
She's like, okay, job 1 tomorrow. Find Michael, find Harrison, speak to them. Just find somewhere quiet, and just you all need to communicate because I've got to go. And just like literally just slams the phone down and gone. Like she just cut off mid sentence and gone, and vanished. Now, this cop car that's been outside your house is there for basically to keep you in the house permanently. Do you stay in the house permanently? I mean, even the next morning when school's involved, do you try and escape? Do you try and slip out? Because this is what Barnes and Noble have basically. I think they've got kind of a higher reputation or higher impression of the Freehold PD than they actually should have. They do not warrant the praise these guys are giving them. They are literally clown shoes. Literally just fucking weebles with a badge.
Well, the last thing I want to do is end up back at the police station listening to their bullshit again.
Okay.
I haven't got time to waste doing that.
Okay. So you're going to have to get out of the house somehow. You can try and convince your way out. You can try and just sneak out and see how see if you can get back before they notice. Because I mean, all night. Let's see how many times they rocked up into your house and checked on you all night. Actually, that's not even a good one at all. So, if this comes up with a 1, they checked up with you every hour. If it comes up with a 2, comes up with a 2, they checked on you every 2 hours. They checked, 3, 4, 5, that sort of thing. Okay, 5. So they came and checked on you. You reckon you've probably got about 5 or 6 hours between check-ins. Because obviously this is like a private home as well, so they can't just keep coming in and going, "Are you still there? Nice one. Are you still there? Nice one. Can I have another cup of Joe? Nice one." No.
Don't edit that one out. Leave that one in.
Yeah, I might leave that one in just because it's random and doesn't pertain to anything at all. Okay. So anyway, how do you get out of the house? What's your plan? We're talking following morning. You're like, "Fuck this, I'm going to school." Which no kid said ever, but you're
wait
basically...
till the guy next checks in on me.
It's probably be parents. I mean, Dad's a mechanic. He'll be out early. Mum's going to school. Isn't your mum a teacher? I've forgotten. What can you see? Your mum's a teacher anyway, so she'll probably be out. She might have... Well, she would have normally offered you a lift to school, but she'd probably be out as well. It would literally be you in the house.
I'm going to wait.
Okay.
Wait till the next comes in and says... Checks up on me.
Where are you when he does it?
In my room.
Okay. Well, you'd have to come down to the door, so...
Well, yeah, but I was in my room.
Okay, so you're not like sat in the front room just like, "What? I'm reading," No? Okay.
He knows it's obviously taken me a few seconds to get downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets that. So he knows I must have been in my room. So I say, "Yeah, just hanging out. Catching up on some schoolwork. Not going anywhere, as you can clearly see."
Police reports in one hand. Photocopy police report.
Clearly not going anywhere. I'll just...
Nothing to see here.
Make me a cool roll.
That is a 4 and a 6.
See, my dice.
Oh, it's because you've got the wrong bag, that's why. You actually need that. And then
well.
I take these away from you.
Right, so you re-roll again, don't you?
I think I do, yeah.
Did you get the 4?
And a
And
6.
6.
Okay, re-roll both. If a D4 gets a 4 on it, you re-roll that. If a D6 gets a 6 on it, you re-roll that because it
That's
explodes.
critical.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 2 2s.
Okay, so you got an 8, which is your highest one. So that's a success for the shift. What would you like? I mean, he believes you. He basically believes that you're in the house and you are just, doing your thing and doing some schoolwork. But what's the added bonus from that? Do you want him to
He says, "You know what?
He's not fucking off and leaving you for the day. If you had 2 or 3 shifts, I might even sort of say, him have like a moment where it's like, "So I'll go get donuts." Are you planning on leaving? Because these guys really aren't, cops wise, they are not worth a wank at all.
I think his shift should be that he didn't catch him with his mum.
No, we're not
So
doing
he
that.
did catch him.
No.
The shift can be that he feels a hell of a lot more relaxed about the fact that I'm clearly not
Yeah.
going anywhere. He's chilled out. He's not.
You've done it.
He's not looking.
You've succeeded with style there. So basically, you've pulled this off, and it's believable. It's not just believable, but it's like you're like, she's not going anywhere. I might even have a kip. Just tip my hat down and have a kip. Okay. And you just do one out the back door of the house and just.
I'll give it 10 minutes first. I'm not just going.
Well, yeah, but like giddle, just giddle it and get out.
So I give it 10 minutes. Just make sure he's, just chilling and sneak out through my bedroom window.
Nice. There's no one in. You could have just walked out through the door. Or are you on the ground floor bedroom?
No, upstairs we've got a tree next to the house.
Excellent.
It's my usual way in and out.
Maybe a scamper roll. He did this to himself. When he's got both broken legs. Hi guys.
Oh, but it's
why
a
are you in a
D4, so I need
wheelchair?
another D4.
Well, you got a pair of D4s, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Alright.
You all did a nervous laugh.
Oh,
And a 1.
Now,
Oh, tell me she's broken leg.
no, if it was a critical fail, if she'd have focused it and then failed, then we'd be talking broken legs. But
She
at
does
this
this all the
point,
time.
I'm going to say this is a single wound. So if you'd like to just basically
I'd
get
rather
your
not.
thing and put well, you can re-roll it if you want for a penny. Just put
I'll
a strike through that, just to show that you've taken a wound. Now these wounds can be fixed. They're not. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. You can take a wound and still be first blood. Still be all right. Right, so at this point, this is the school the following day, and like as though the pair of you are like David Attenborough in the shit out of this, you know, just sat there looking at it, going, but without the being able to go look at the students.
So without the voiceover.
Yeah,
That's
except you're looking at, but you're looking like people watching, but you're looking at it like, the fuck is this? Because
What the fuck is that?
apparently overnight, Todd Johnson and Jenny Floss. Well, Todd Johnson's attitude, attire, apparently everything about him appears to have changed.
How's he dressed? No.
I basically dressed, what does it say here? Looks like a Gap/Dockers commercial.
Oh dear. Someone's been doing some research.
He looks. Shut up. Jenny was always, you know, nicey nice, you know, sort of dressed, you know, not, but like, this is like turned up to 11. This is like some serious fucking, you know, Wizard of Oz shit. She's really like, you know, you actually hear one of the girls sort of pass you. Actually, both roll me some insight just to see. This is passing sort of people talking.
8 and 3.
Okay.
5 and 1.
5 and 1. Okay. So, do you want to hear the good stuff or do you want to hear the bad stuff? Because people
Do
talk.
we only get one shot? Do we only get?
I'll give you one each.
All right. So you want to go for?
I'll go for the good stuff.
Okay.
Damn it! That's what I wanted to hear.
Right. Well, you got the shift, so you're going to get 2 of the bad things.
All right.
Okay. Now, on the good side, you've got people saying like, well, you know, no one really wants to question Todd's change of behaviour. They've all addressed it, and they're all looking at him like, okay, this happened. That's strange that it happened so quickly. But do you know what? I'm glad the poor girl finally found happiness. So there are people who are like rooting for him, that sort of thing. And they're basically looking at him like...
So
like,
do people assume that she's changed him? Or is this like...
That's the general consensus you get from it. Like, you know, the influence that somebody
She's
can have
Yoko
on somebody
Ono'd
else.
him.
She is literally Yoko Ono'd him. Now, on the other side... Well, actually... make me just a D4.
Who?
The friend. Yeah, you don't get anything else. No, I'll give you this one for free because this one's...
You really wanted to give me this one, didn't you?
Yeah, it,
Do I
kind
get
of,
an
it
extra
fits
one for
really
free?
well with it because it just makes the sick makingness of this couple. They actually, you both sat there like...
Has he got his hair slicked over like Zac
Yes.
Efron? I hate that.
He
dick
basically
right.
looks... It's like... You know, like somebody... You know, like George McFly. That sort of, you know, greased hair.
He's gone full on Efron.
Yeah.
Oh, what a knob.
Now, you watch the pair of them cross this sort of courtyard thing, and passing them, it's almost as though it's like really, you know, too sort of, you know, coincidental. Monica Parsons is currently putting up like a banner, like one of these, you know, sort of the school propaganda banners that you see all the time before big, you know, sort of events and that. And it just says, "People can change" in big letters, and it looks as though it was made that morning, but made using school stuff. So now on the bad side,
Do I get 3 now? Because you got 2 in fairness.
well, I'll give you these.
Okay.
You hear one girl pass, and just like, yeah, she was nice, but she was a nobody. She, you know, it's just because of the weirdness of the couple that she and the fact that she got taken, but she came back miraculously. Oh, amnesia and all that, and basically just this sort of rumor about her being a failed runaway seems to have taken root. Somebody's passed it along the way somehow, and it's ended up going out to everyone. So everyone, this is out there. The poison is out there, as well as all the nice things and people rooting for him and stuff. And believe me, it was an equal thing. I had them both written down. You also catch another one as you get up and just start to sort of walk into the school. Somebody passed going, once a bullying douchebag, always a bullying douchebag. And Yeah, that's the pair of you as you walk into school. Now, walking into school, you pass your locker, and this is the locker that looks as though it's been scratched up to shit with a claw, a garden claw.
Freddy Krueger.
Spray painted with the words "pure homo" in giant red letters, and basically your wish wall has been completely shredded inside it.
From the outside, do you get a glimpse of the Hoff?
As if you were looking at him through like vertical blinds. That
So
are
it's
covered
like
in
the Hoff in prison. Hoff incarcerated.
How
Spray
defaced?
painted.
How defaced has his picture been?
Everything inside it's been scratched up. Now,
Oh, I'm so angry for a nerd.
if you'd like to roll me a insight roll, actually roll me an imagination roll because I like the idea of this better. No, just you. Actually, no, both of you because both of you are looking at this. Both of you are looking at this, and both of you have just passed Todd's car outside.
7-2.
Pair of threes.
Okay. You look at this thing and go, because outside Todd's car,
Has 3 of the same.
it's 3 of the same type of scratch marks down it.
Just clearing this up, it's definitely not an Adidas special edition car and locker combo, is it?
I didn't sign up for that, so I don't
No?
think so.
Right, okay, just checking.
No.
Sorry, Adidas.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor.
It talks.
Yeah, Jesus. Wait, no, don't. Let's not
So
do that
clever,
because
that's
then
why.
he won't sponsor us. Okay. Do you investigate? You've literally got into school. This is a bit of, sandboxiness for you. If you want to do some, I'm trying to intersperse sandbox.
I guess we'd
rails and all
investigate,
sorts.
wouldn't we? Because
Wait, what were we investigating, Sarah?
the match between
Do it in character, please.
the three.
if you can.
Oh, the 3. Yeah.
Well, you've got a few things. Do you discuss dreams and stuff, or?
The dream's not so much because I'm not really making heads or tails of him yet. It's one of them. I've watched so many films that it could be a mixture of.
Could be anything. Okay.
Yeah, until I'm sure, I'm not really going to relay something about
Right, so.
that I don't actually know myself.
Right, so, well, you basically, you see your locker, you open the door on it and go, shut the
The
thing.
door just comes off.
Oh,
his
yeah. One hinge. One hinge.
I'm more surprised that he fit my entire body into it. More
You
than
are a
anything.
bit of a beanpole. Like,
Yeah, but still, have you seen the lockers? They're not.
well, maybe this is a generous locker school.
Oh, a generous locker.
Considering,
Can you even fit yourself in it?
Considering the amount of, they even thought
That's
ahead.
the
They
school
thought, do you know
bully.
what?
He'll help.
Yeah, they thought, the school bullies are going to stuff you into the lockers, so I know, let's make the lockers big enough to stuff the average student in
More of a
comfortably.
target.
Right?
More of a target. Oh, is this
Make
bully
it less-
proficient in
No, just
origami?
make it less of a shit thing for them to do to you. Haha, stuffed you in your locker. Well, do you know what? It doesn't hurt. It's warm
This is
and I
more
can,
roomy than my bedroom.
I can breathe in it, and I'm away from you and can't take any wedgies while I'm in here.
Locker
so,
or walking
You're not
wardrobe?
really
Exactly.
say that to him. You're only like on the other side of
oh
the
yeah,
door.
he'll just stab you through the locker. No.
Wow.
So
Hey, dude.
now, you've basically got this. You've got the locker. You've got. Well, what did you see last night? Have you already discussed that?
Yeah, I went to his straight away. Yeah.
Do we do flashback to that, or
Yeah, let's do that.
would it be just a? Okay, yeah, let's do that because this would be the point where you've just
Can
seen
you just reiterate them 2 names to me? The guy and the girls.
Jenny Floss,
Yep.
Todd Johnson,
No, okay.
Jensen's older brother, and Mikey's older sister,
Jenny Floss and
Todd Johnson.
Okay. Right,
And
that's fine.
you watched what happened, didn't you? You remember that, don't you, from last
Oh,
session?
yeah,
I know
I
it's been a
remember
week, but it's been 2 weeks. And so yeah, if you would like to, what would it be? Literally, just like the moment you sort of get, you get into his house, hello, Mrs. Harrison, upstairs, into the room, door shut, and you just cross the threshold, shut the door, and then shit your pants. Just void your bowels right there in his room. Like, we have a toilet just down there.
No time in my pants. Right, okay, so obviously straight from school, I've run all the way. From there, I'm out of breath. I get into his room, and so my words would be all jumbled up. Basically, Todd Johnson dead. Jenny Floss killed him on the field, blood everywhere.
She didn't kill him though, or did she?
What?
Technically, you watched him kill himself.
Oh yeah. Todd Johnson dead. Jenny Floss walked off, other side. Todd Johnson there. Different Todd Johnson, but still Todd Johnson.
What's all this talk of Tom Jones? What?
Right there. Let me take a breath. Right. So, after we met, I went back to the school. Okay. To pick up my notebook and my pen from my locker.
Okay. You not got? No, never mind. I was just
Stop heckling the boy.
Fine.
He looks scared.
My locker was defaced, but that's really not important right now. We'll leave that. The whole face really in half. Anyway, right. So I grabbed my notebook and pen, and then all of a sudden I turn around and Todd Johnson's there at the end, and he's threatening to obviously beat the crap out of me, as is usual.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Nothing there. But then Jenny Floss sort of calls him, and it's like I was then not even there. He sort of turned away. I didn't even exist, and they just started walking off.
Okay, so
I mean, for him, last time I was in school, and that was that corridor. He threw me in my own locker and locked me in.
okay, I mean he's used to.
Well, yeah,
He's used to walking straight past you if you don't exist, though.
yeah, but not when he's threatening to punch me in the face.
Well, I suppose.
Normally he follows
So
through.
it's like
with
a
it.
switch.
Yeah, pretty much. But then it's like I wasn't even there. It was just the only thing he saw was her. So anyway, they walked off, and I decided to follow because, I mean, even though it could have ended with me getting punched in the face, I was more intrigued that he didn't.
Okay.
So anyway, I followed them from behind, and they went onto the baseball field, if I remember correctly. They went onto the baseball field, and in the middle, they stood in the middle. I was behind like a one of those push things that they use, and he pulled out a knife, slit his own throat. Then he's on the floor. She did absolutely nothing.
So she wasn't even like.
Oh no, she had nothing on her face.
I told you there was something wrong with her. I told
No,
you.
wait, it gets weirder. I mean, obviously we've got a dead guy, and I won't be getting shoved in a locker. Or I don't think so. Anyway, so then she walks off to the edge of the field where the fence is, and Todd Johnson is stood there.
We've just.
Which, thinking about it, would stick with our theory. We said, remember when we got that feeling that Jenny Floss wasn't Jenny Floss?
It wasn't just a feeling.
Yeah, well, now it's sort of making a lot more sense.
Would you say you were hooked on this feeling?
I was.
That's how it feels.
That's fine. I just can't fight this feeling anymore.
Sorry. I don't mean to heckle.
So, you know what we were saying, that Jenny Floss isn't Jenny Floss, it's in a way somebody else.
Yeah.
This now can flash forward to you two basically continuing this conversation while walking down the corridor in the school.
Yeah. Alright, so it flashes forward now, we're saying, right, okay.
Literally like and you just continuing the same conversation.
So,
Was that the same Todd Johnson as you saw last night?
well, I mean,
you
he's changed now.
You look
but-
over at Todd Johnson now and he looks like something from Greece.
Oh, God, what a knob.
Except he's not singing or anything, but he looks as though he could break into song. Like they are really a sickly couple. They are really Olivia Newton-John, and you know.
Have we walked past them at all? Or are they at the other side of the corridor sort of thing?
Oh. Okay, so as you're sort of fucking about with your locker, sort of, you know, you sort of look back in it as you continue in this conversation, you look in your locker for a second and go, although that kind of looks like the scratches on Todd's car, and you feel this slap on your shoulder like, hey buddy, and you look round and Todd Johnson, like he's never looked at you before, as though, you know, and he just sort of he's like, whoa, you know, looks like somebody, you know, has played a prank on you, you know, who is that? You know, then he's just literally just like scruffs you on the head and is like, you want me to help you fix that? And he looks at you and it's literally,
Is Harrison still stood next to me?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to turn to him and say, you see what I mean?
I see. I see.
He's like,
I'm not dreaming right now. I'm not.
is this a bit? Are you two guys comedians? And you know, just literally his personality is completely fucking changed. It's like, is this a double man show? I'll have to catch you guys in a bit. And he just like, slaps you on the shoulder again, says, turns to you and just goes, your brother's a legend, and just like wanders off. Wanders off down the hall. Big Teddy.
I mean, I really can't explain that, to be honest.
I mean, I was
No,
going
you
to
haven't
say.
seen Jenny, by the way.
I was going to say. I was going to say.
He approached on his own. He wasn't with her.
I was going to say there's one way to find out whether it is the real Todd, but he kind of just proved it. I was going to tell you to go and provoke him and see what happens.
We could still see that.
Because
I mean, in fairness, I'm not. There's only one way to find out. I've ended up in my locker before.
It's a good
I just
point.
don't want him to fold you into an origami swan or
You've just
put
seen
your own
it,
head up your arse.
The only thing that was up my arse then was his own head.
I suppose, but better his head up your ass than your own head up your ass. Balls to it, let's do it. Let's go and see if it is the real Teddy.
Alright, wait there.
I,
How far down the
Teddy?
corridor is there?
Top.
How far down the corridor is there?
Well, he's actually. I made a little secret roll, and he's actually he's actually. Oh, cousin Nick, when did you come in? Anyway, he's basically he goes down the corridor as Pythagoras von Beethoven strides up towards the pair of you, and it's just like, what are you two boys doing? You should be
Is he
outside.
sat on piano on wheels? I imagine he goes everywhere on piano on wheels.
He walks like
Someone
he's
just
he
pushing
walks,
him.
Like the
Yeah,
commitment.
he walks a bit rickety, like he's been sat behind a piano for a while, and he just kind of, what are you two boys doing? You should be outside in the sun, and it's, classes don't start for I say classes, classes aren't really classes anymore. They're just kind of, it's this weird playground again. Classes don't start for another hour. Mr. Avery has quite a stirring lecture, prepared for you students.
Life.
No, it's about. He says it's about the history of Freehold, and he's going to be telling stories as well. Which
Sounds amazing.
It's like, quite stirring. I may put, well, maybe not, because the man is a bit of a ruffian. But as far as teachers go, we have to bring in the new crop, don't we? And then just sort of, he says, right, no, off out with you, and sort of chibs you off outside, out of a door.
Play me out, boys.
Out through a side door and onto the field, or like towards across a small yard with basketball hoops and stuff towards the field, and just like he's basically diverted you away, and that was a legit. Fred saw me do that.
Show our friend Jenny.
Yeah.
Let's go, friend Jenny.
Yeah, right, okay.
He's dressed worse than that cheerleader.
Now,
Yes.
Ben, aka Lexi, you've come to school. You've done exactly the same thing for the past couple of days. You've come in and you've essentially stalked Marcy for the entire time. She has basically spent her entire time in the public eye, making sure that nobody can catch her on her own. And she's basically. Have you just stalked her the entire time? Just wandered her really shamelessly?
Yeah,
Stop laughing. Come on, play.
yeah, I'm after her. I'm
Okay.
in the bushes waiting.
Really, that
Waiting for
shameless?
the guard when the guard goes down.
Roll
Are
me.
you
roll
in
me
some
cool.
kind of camouflage gear?
Roll me
Is he
some
on
cool.
method?
No,
Like a bird call.
He's got a ghillie suit.
She's currently in her. But last time I heard, she was in a trench coat covered in glitter and unicorns.
Yeah,
Most
Blended.
incognito outfit ever.
Absolutely. What's that?
7-1.
Okay. So not exactly. You can basically see the glitter through the bush. So anyone who was actually looking for you could see you, and so Marcy can see you. There is no subtlety there whatsoever.
Got 7.
And you see her go. She comes into school. She's surrounded by people. She's there with a boyfriend. She goes outside, sits on the wall, drumming her feet and stuff. And basically, she's just surrounded by people for the majority of the morning.
The fuck
Now,
when she gets to like 5 seconds of not being there, so I'll hit you.
so you're just going to stalk her
Gonna
for
hit
the
him with a
entire
car.
day until you get. Wow. You don't even own a car.
Steal a car and then hit him with the stolen car.
Well, she's going. So you're going to stalk her for the entire day. Well, we'll get to that.
He's going to end up losing. She's going to end up losing her cool.
You two on the field, you can see baseball diamond over to one side, bleachers, to the right of that. To the left, you've got sort of, you've got cheerleader practice, and you can see this glittery something hiding in a bush, watching Marcy and her friends doing this weird, the cheerleader thing.
Are we quite far away to notice this as well?
Oh yeah, you're literally you walked out the door and be like, Pythagoras, you absolute bell cheese.
Do you know, everyone called, in the 80s, everyone got called a square?
Yes. He is the,
Yeah, but we're not calling him a square, we're calling him a triangle.
Yeah, you fucking rhombus.
Because, no.
Fucking numbers.
You've just shit on my joke.
Sorry. Wind it back, go on, I can edit that out.
Won't be as funny the second time, will it?
No. Okay, so in the 80s, when everybody called everyone a square.
You don't take a hatred. What are you doing?
No, it used to be all right.
You fucking equilateral triangle.
Parallelogram, that's what it is. Big fat parallelogram.
You stupid fucking tan man.
You fucking concave prison. Anyway, really weird middle class jokes. Middle class science jokes as well. Lens.
Cornea.
How dare you, sir?
You spleen.
Anyway, you two are out, and it's basically sunny, and you're out in the thing. You can do anything. You can continue the conversation if you wish.
We need to find Jenny.
You need to find fucking Chloe.
I think I'm just going to follow you.
Let's do it. Let me just roll to see whether. Make me just roll a d4 and see whether you catch these. Nope. You basically went in the other side of the school, went straight to the school paper, and just sat down and pored over these reports, as you did all evening. They're all highlighted and shit. Gents. Now make me an insight roll, both of you, just to see if you can immediately spot Jenny amongst all these people.
7 and a 2.
Reroll. Oh yeah, just a 7's fine.
4 and a 3.
Okay, so you both look, and you can kind of see people who are sort of part of this. People can change thing, and it's like she's leaving a trail of joy in her wake.
Dude, that bitch.
You can't see her, but it's weird because it's like she's sort of making people happy. Wherever she goes, she sort of seems to leave happiness behind her. People are sort of
like a Smurf.
Almost like a muse, like a sort of like somebody who just automatically brings the best out of people through some weird means, who might also be able to bring the worst out of people. And yeah, you can see several pockets of that about the place.
So we can kind of tell where she's been.
Yeah, you can tell where she's been.
So she's like the Pied Piper of bullshit.
Pretty much, but the Pied Piper of happiness is weird because it's not.
But it's fake happiness, right?
You don't.
And
know.
I can tell it's fake happiness.
So has she got a group following her?
You two, basically, if he's explained about the whole fact that she just stood there, looked at him, and he went from being on the defensive to just cutting his own throat.
Well, yeah, he has. So.
You two pretty much have this under thingy that.
Has she got a group following her? Like a group of people?
No, it's like everyone it's wherever she goes, everyone just sort of it's like they part for her, and they just sort of they're like, oh, it's and they
so
just
she's easily noticed then by everybody.
The people who said all the nice things appear to be the ones who she seems to have passed and left this influence with.
Like something like the Blues Brothers.
I really need to rewatch that film. It's been years. I'm going out on a limb here. Don't take this too seriously. This is just the best thing I can think of to describe.
I've got a reference, but I don't think it's going to be relevant.
It's like they're under a spell of some sort. Like she's radiating something that just makes people go and their attitude completely changes. They just become carefree and not concerned about any sort of anything else, but just sort of floating cloud nine in it for a bit.
Okay. Do we notice this as she's walking,
You've not seen her do it, but you've seen people that she's passed, and you're just you can tell she's been there because people are talking about her or this.
Because of my cynicism, because I would have cynicism about this at this point. I walk up to the banner and rip it down because I'm going to be pretty cynical of this happy.
Make me a cool roll to do that without. Do you do it so people can see it, or do you?
I want people to see me do it.
Okay. So there's no cool involved there. You literally just rip this thing down and do what? Just throw it on the ground.
Yeah, and
Just
shout.
one? Oh, shout as well.
Yeah, and just shout like, "Look, it's all bullshit! It's all bullshit!" That's what I shout.
And you hear from everywhere around you, like, not from everywhere, because there are pockets of like, huh? You hear lots of like, "Woo! It's all bullshit! Yeah!" And it's like they're fucking loving it. Like
I just put my head down and just walk off.
It's
thinking,
like they are loving life.
you know, like when you look at your shoes when you're walking, so I'm just kicking the stones.
Just like,
Yeah, that's
fuck
kind of what I did.
this.
Yeah.
You know, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Chloe, should we make another roll for you? Roll as a d4. Tell us whether you happen to bump into them or. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting closer. Okay, so what would you be doing at this point? Are you still in the thing, or are you actually actively out looking for them now to try and tell them about stuff?
I'm looking for him.
What would your thing would be to tell them what?
Because I ain't got a lot of time before I got to get back home.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally from that roll before, you're pretty certain because you've measured it before that you've got till about 3 p.m.
Can't take chances.
No, actually, it's probably about 2 p.m. And this is the morning. It's probably been about an hour since you left.
I don't want to take too many chances. I need to
That's
get it out of
fine.
the way because I don't want people catching me or anything.
Absolutely. Okay. So you can step up your search. Would you like to? You can't fail this. Would you like to roll an actual insight roll?
Insight.
Maybe focus it. You can't fail on it. Well, you can't critically fail on it anyway. No. There you go. There's a 7. Okay. Where do you all bump into each other? I mean, you two have been outside for a bit.
We were heading back in, weren't we?
In one of the corridors that's
I'm
kind of
sort of just following Harrison's lead because I've got
Okay.
stuff
You've
going
had-
on in my head.
Yeah,
from
you've had
what's-
chance to
Yeah,
see this.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to work
rip
things.
down. It's all bullshit. And everyone's like, woo! You know, like fucking loving
Yeah.
it. And you just can't seem to make any sort of.
I'm just trying to make sense of everything that's happened over the past couple of days in my own head and trying to work it out.
Okay.
So I'm just following blindly in a way.
Now, make me another insight roll, Chloe.
not that good.
That's not great. You two make me an insight
Can I
roll.
spend a penny?
You can spend a penny if you want. If you want to be the one who does this.
I'll re-roll.
Okay.
That's better.
That's better.
2.
Okay. On your way in, you pass Mr. Avery's class, the English teacher, or like English literature teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one who still seems to be putting his lessons on. Stood behind his desk, you know, just talking away. Not like Pythagoras, where it's just like, you will listen to every word I say, wow, 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 you know, going nuts at people. You know, maths, rhomboid. Rhombus?
Rhomboid.
Rhomboid is a Rileyism.
As in creating his own shapes.
A rhomboid sounds like something you need a cream for. Oh, I've got rhomboids.
Oh, not them. I had them last week. That's
Get me a rubber ring to
I'm
sit
gonna
on.
give him again.
Get me
Carry
a
on
rubber
with that if you want.
trapezium to sit on.
Pass me the rhombus.
Seriously, when I do stuff, it's like, oh, Ben's got
This
a
is
sheet.
subtle. This isn't like, you know,
Orgies.
yeah, orgies or anal fingering. This is, you know,
Read the list, you can't say those words.
it's fine.
Where's rhomboid on there?
Anyway,
If you spell it right, I'll give you a pound. It's not
Now.
even a real word, so
now Mr.
I can
Avery,
make up the spelling.
Mr. Avery in this class is basically, he's a 30-something teacher, a bit grufty, kind of dresses like a young Pythagoras von Beethoven.
Nope.
All tweed, and he just sort of, all tweed, little goatee beard, looks like he smokes.
Does that say purple lackey?
Because like when he's talking, he just kind of, when he's not sort of playing with his lips, you know, like somebody who smokes a lot. When he's not playing with his lips, he plays with this little sort of like. You've noticed because you did an expose on him in the first place when he first joined the school. One which was severely edited due to divorces and such. Now, when he joined the school, you basically noted this thing, and it's just like he's got a nail on a string around his neck, and you've never really questioned it. But it just makes him. Like, he's not hipster exactly, but it's like hipster before hipster became hipster.
Prehipstoric.
Yes. So he's basically stood behind his desk. You just breeze past. I mean, before you sort of look at him and like, listen to his lecture for a minute, you just kind of look around the room and go, "Wow, he's like not ministering, although he does kind of have that sort of. Pythagoras is more, fire and brimstone and you will die. Whereas this guy kind of, if he was a minister, it'd be more sort of like touchy-feely. Not touchy-feely, wait. Damn. No.
That's what you want from a school teacher.
Not that sort of touchy-feely. More just sort of like,
Is it Catholic school?
more like, you're here to listen to me because you've chosen to be here to listen to me sort of thing. And he's just, he's just sort of telling everybody
Not
stuff.
you've been chosen to listen to me.
Yes, not that sort of stuff. No communion wine and biscuits and shit. So you basically see that this room he's like, there's about 3 people in there. There's one lad who is essentially, he's in the front row and he's fast asleep. Arms are folded on the desk and he's like 3 desks away from Avery's desk and he's just flat out asleep. One girl's sort of sat there just picking at her nails or something. One of Marcy's crew's just picking at her nails. And then someone else is just sat there and they're just like, sort of fucking about with paper doing origami trapeziums and shit. They should probably be in Pythagoras' class. But then you just breeze past it and you bump into these two.
What's up, guys?
Hey, you alright?
Yeah, wow, what a doozy of a day.
Doozy.
You can say that again.
Yeah. Please say that again.
Yes, I love the word.
What's a
doozy.
doozy of a day?
There we go. Okay.
Thank you.
So now we've understood what kind of day it is.
That's kind of the thing that Todd would say. That's the kind of horror. No, oh my goodness.
So, I don't even know where to start with our day, to be blatantly honest with you.
You can
kinda same.
you can hear Pythagoras roaring down the corridor towards you, like, "Come on, everybody should be outside playing!" And
What it is, we can hear the squeak of his piano wheels coming down the corridor.
either that or his squeaky shoes.
You can just hear a few tinkling of the
if
ivory.
Tweed made a sound,
in the background.
So it's like Benny Hill.
if Tweed made a sound, and just like sort of, you can hear this,
This weird scratch.
this tornado of Tweed coming down the corridor.
Tornado of Tweed, this Megadeth song.
Like when he retires. Yes, played on the piano as well. So anyway, Avery sort of spots you and goes, come in. There's plenty of space. Pull up a chair, go to sleep. Apparently, and just sort of, gestures to the room. This room goes all the way back. Like you could sit anywhere. You could probably sit in the back half of this room and not be heard by anyone.
That's convenient, because we need to sit in the back end of a room and not be heard by anybody. So, let's go in here.
The only one you'd have to worry about is a girl who's plainly got earphones in as you get closer to her. And, the guy who's fast asleep at the front, who is obviously not listening, and the teacher who is completely absorbed
Can
in
we
his
tell
own-
what she's listening to?
No, it just kind of sounds like that's a, I'm not going to say not going to say girls want to have fun.
It didn't sound like smooth jazz to me.
No, it sounds like, I don't know, whatever sort of, probably something by Flock of Seagulls or somebody.
Motley Crue.
No, she's not that cool.
Cyndi Lauper.
We've already used Cyndi Lauper for an early one of these. But yeah, she's listening to something by, some sort of pop. Generic pop from that time.
Kylie and Jason.
Michael Jackson.
80s.
She's not that cool. No. But it doesn't matter, she's literally just random girl, so it doesn't make any difference.
Well, why it took us this long to do this thing. We
back
go
in
off
this
on
room.
so many tangents.
You're off in, well yeah,
Well,
that's what's fun about these games.
That's kind of the point, man.
When I do it, it's like, right,
Yeah,
on the list
because
there.
your tangents tend to be a little bit rapier than ours.
Rapier like the sword.
Yes, he goes on a rapier tangent. It's the new type of tangent, created especially because it comes to a point.
Take yourself a Benny.
Thank you very much. I believe that was a good save.
Yeah, take yourself a Black Benny, Bamalan.
You're welcome.
That's why we're here for so long. We could be through this in one session if we didn't fuck around with actual,
Well, it wouldn't be nearly as funny,
fun.
would it?
Yeah, if we didn't fuck around with fun, we'd be through this.
Right,
in done.
okay, so we go into this room and we're sat at the back.
You are literally, it's like the Breakfast Club. You're at the back of this room. You can hear. I mean, do you choose to listen, or do you just leave his noise to be like this? Maybe do your bit first, and then maybe I'll listen if you want.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of passive, I guess, because
Okay, you kind of catch bits of it.
we've got important shit to talk about.
Shoot.
So, how's your day been, Chloe?
Well, not great. Remember yesterday when I went in to
They've not seen you since then. You just fucking
speak to
ghosted
the
them.
agents?
Yeah, what? Where did you go?
Well, that didn't turn out so well. They kind of just gave me a load of shit, and then I ended up spending most of the night at the police station.
Oh, cool. Did they give you a jumpsuit?
No. But I'll tell you what I did get out of it. I managed to sneak a look in the records room and I pulled some information out from some of the missing people.
Oh, brilliant. Cool. Have you got it on you?
It is in the...
Keystone.
Are you sure you don't need a chat?
I'll edit it out. It's fine.
Our GM is Prince Philip.
I've not gone there at all. Anyway, carry on.
You can edit that out.
Yeah, that whole bit.
Yeah, that holds
Just
it.
the entire evening. Fuck it. We'll start again now.
Yes, actually, I have them with me in my bag.
Cool.
I've made some notes.
You look a bit panicked. Are you alright?
Yes,
She's got
no.
the 5-0
I got took home by one of the police officers,
Ooh.
and basically kind of under house
Fun
arrest for now.
Well, they're not doing a very good job of keeping you under house arrest, are they?
Not really, no. But I've been keeping a
You
watch
should
on
fall
them,
asleep
and I've been watching the timing on them, and I've got a couple of hours, but I don't really want to leave it too long just in case anything does happen.
Right, okay. So, would it be wise for you to give us what you've got and then you get back?
Yeah, I'll tell you all the notes I've made on it. Basically, these are the people that went missing. We got a case report on it, and sort of like
Use-
specs on each
Use the
person.
school photocopier to photocopy extra copies of it.
Do you give us the master copy or do you give us...
A copy of
Just
it.
give you the master copy.
Okay, I put it in my backpack.
Okay.
I'll have a quick glance
Well,
over
this-
it just to get the
What,
names.
the master photocopy of the...
No, yeah,
You
like
photocopy the
everything
things
he's
that-
got,
yeah.
basically.
There's 2 sheets per person.
And I've
Okay.
got the other copy, which I'm going to take back home with me.
Okay, so do you know anything about these guys or?
These are the people that went missing earlier.
The boy found outside the diner, and the girl found outside the library.
What are the names?
The names are written down somewhere, and I have them somewhere.
Let's just call them Bob and Bob.
No.
Mbop. In that little Hanson song.
If you want them.
Yeah, I'm not sure how relevant to be, but we'll take them.
It's fine. God damn you, where are you?
So Diner Boy first, please.
That's his name, Danaboy. Superhero.
No.
Dead though, I was a superhero.
Ah, there we go.
Why do you think he died?
The little boy was called Turner McCready,
Goddamn Turner
Twelve-
McCready.
12 years old.
How tall was he?
Quite stocky because he was.
What colour hair did he have? We need all the info.
He was ginger
What kind of shoes was he wearing at the
and
time?
stocky. It doesn't say on the thing.
Okay, and what kind of clothing was he wearing?
You're not here. you're currently hiding behind the
Yeah, I'm
school,
shouting.
the school
What
cafeteria.
clothing was he wearing?
You're hiding behind the school cafeteria cart, watching Marcy load up
wait,
a breakfast
This
tray.
is the only bit
I
of
know.
detective work that he's done in
Wait,
this.
the thing is, right,
And he's not even
we
here
normally
to
gloss
be
over a
useful.
lot of what Ben says in these sessions.
He'll get his, don't
No,
worry.
I don't want to gloss over this. Imagine
not there.
walking past a bush and hearing, "What's he wearing?" It'd be well weird. It'd be the weirdest thing you've ever seen. And you just like a glittery bush shouting, "What's he wearing?"
This breakfast cart thing that's outside the window to Avery's room, it's weird because it looks like this is the older wing of the school, and the windows are sort of these metal framed, just sort of kind of they've been painted a few times. You can see where they've not quite cleaned up around the edge of the glass, and the windows open they've got the little catch on them, and they open out, and you just from outside there's this. What was he wearing? Sort of thing. She has literally somehow managed to usurp on this scene, whilst managing. Roll me stealth. Well, cool. Sorry.
Nobody notices a
Marcy?
talking glittery
Does
tree.
Marcy hear you shout? What was he wearing?
Yeah.
Yep. She hears you, and literally just like you get this. She looks at him like fucking freak, and just does one.
Woke up!
She just does one. Literally, she's surrounded by all these shiny, happy people having fun.
Holy thumbs.
Yeah, that's it. Oh shit, I fucked up on the. Oh no!
We'll
No,
make a
you're not-
Michael Stipe out of you one day.
You're not having a Benny for it, even though I fucked up. I'll just get rid of my own Benny. Throw my own Bennies away. Forgive me for not being an REM
What
fan.
hairstyle does he have?
Ginger.
Did.
It was a bowl cut.
And it's
Oh,
past tense.
Do you want the girls one?
Well, you're not got to it yet. I'm not done it.
Okay.
What
Oh,
size
Bush,
shoes-
please do ask more questions.
What size shoes was he wearing?
He was wearing. Oh, this is American sizes, so I don't know what size of shoe.
The
we're
like
One
one
wearing.
size
size.
bigger.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
How
I
old
don't
is
know
it?
what size shoe do you wear when you're fucking 12.
Say 3.
Well,
Depends.
I don't know, Chris, when you were 12, when it clonks, our rudimentary
Yes.
leaf shoes.
One
I
size
wore
fits
them.
all.
I wore them made out of hollowed out trees.
Rudimentary leaf shoes, crafted by wizards.
Anyway,
They
he
didn't
just
have a
wore your
size, they
average
just printed
box
my
standard
shoes
shoe. He
because I
came,
made them
he came
myself.
from a reasonably well-off house.
Whittled
Was
up,
he left or
hollowed
right
out
handed?
badges.
Left.
How many toes did he have?
10. He
This
was.
is why you're not in the police.
He wasn't from the south.
How many
So-
toes did he have? That was legitimately just a question.
Right,
Ginger hair, green eyes.
10 toes.
Yeah,
wear glasses?
10 toes. No.
He was
Could
called
he-
Turner 10 Toes, that
Could
was
he,
his nickname.
could he have wore glasses though? If he wanted to?
Anyone can wear
Yeah,
glasses if they want to.
Yeah, Ben, he had ears and a nose.
You vagina.
I'm sure that's on your list, isn't it?
It's not.
Vagina.
You
If
had
I'd have
ears,
used a stronger
he had
word
ears
for
and
it,
a
then-
nose,
Oh, yeah.
therefore he could wear glasses. Are you done here?
Are we done? Do you want to do the girl now?
Freckles. Does he have
Are you
freckles?
actually
He's ginger,
taking,
of course
are
he's
you
got freckles.
taking any of
Right.
this in, or are you just asking random? You've not remembered a single thing.
He's ginger.
It's alright, I've
Was
written
he
most
left?
of it
Was he
down.
left-handed or right-handed? What colour were his eyes?
Are you asking it?
Green.
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, I'm just checking if he was listening or not. How well off was his house?
Oh, you didn't answer that.
Yeah, I did. You just weren't listening.
I
The
didn't
girl-
ask that.
He was
The
too
girl,
busy
was,
asking his
the girl
next
was
question.
called Leslie Myers, spelt Lesslee. Myers. Now she was.
As in like the opposite of Morley.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was. She's 14.
Okay.
She was the one found outside. She was sort of. She wasn't tall. She's quite skinny for her age. She was found basically broken round a metal
She
bike
ginger
rack,
as well.
like she'd been used as a weapon to hit the bike rack with. Like somebody had basically picked her up and smashed her over the bike rack. So she was, yes, you fucking sick bastard. She
Right.
was literally,
Serious.
for quite a slight
That's-
girl, she was just fucking obliterated around this thing.
So, was she ginger as well?
No.
Okay, it wasn't because she was ginger. Green,
She
green
was,
eyes.
She was fair haired.
Green eyes.
She had grey eyes.
Okay, so it's not the eyes. She left-handed.
Nope.
I can't see a link.
You don't know whether she was left handed or
Oh,
right.
I've got it. How many toes?
10.
Oh, that's
Dun, dun, dun.
It's the 10-toe clan or cult or whatever.
10-toe killer.
Thank God I
Did
got
she
it
wear
last.
glasses? Could she have worn glasses?
Yes. She could also have worn contacts or a poncho or a fucking beret
Did she wear a poncho?
Or a kaftan. Or a fez.
or a burqa. You know, literally could have worn any fucking thing she wanted. She could have worn a spacesuit.
Did she wear a space?
No.
That'd give it away.
That might have given her some sort of protection against the metal railings that she was essentially shattered round.
Now,
One body looked as though it had just been placed, the other body looked as though like it had been fucking just placed there really quite violently, like...
That's the nicest way you can ever put it. What placed there quite violently.
Right, not just placed, really, because they wanted...
Forced
like they,
into a gap.
Yeah, well no, like... She literally, like a toast rack, this thing is, and she looks like somebody's just got her and fucking shattered her across that. So yeah, there wasn't much girl left when
So we're
when they
looking
found her.
for... I don't know.
Death by toe struck. That's something I didn't think I'd hear.
He gets smashed into a toast rack.
You sick bunch of children. You're all supposed to be a bunch of children here. You know, they're not supposed to be people
Oh,
who've
this
seen...
is adult me
Oh,
laughing.
this is just you.
Child me
To be
still
fair,
doesn't know
kids
what's
would
going
probably
on.
find it.
What's this? Child you is still kind of
It's
thinking
still
to
like
himself about
Trying
stuff.
to click my other stuff all into place and see how it goes.
Okay.
I've almost
Right,
got
okay,
a
so
theory.
weren't there a third?
That was the first two. These new ones you've not found anything out
Yeah.
about. You just know from... Who
So
was
it's
it?
just these two that were detailed. on
Chloe's
what
told
Chloe's
you
just
when
told
she's
me.
arrived,
Yeah,
that,
okay.
or she will tell you that there are two more children missing,
Okay.
but you don't know who. The thing is, you all know about it because your parents will know about it, and your parents will have told you, or you'll have heard on the news while you're having tea or something. Or parents will be talking on the phone to neighbours, and it'll go around as soon as news goes on. You can almost hear the phones in the neighbourhood as it just works its way around the phone. Apart from yours, because you don't have a phone, you have cups on string.
I just have cups. We don't have
But
string.
you have cups on string that go
That's
across
a
to
string.
Harrison's house, so that can be how
So
you.
We have
you-
walkie-talkies.
With the
Oh, yeah.
autops there,
Wow, balling.
I saved up for like 3 Christmases for that.
Say again, sorry.
So
No.
with the autopsy,
Us three
Scott,
are
Yep.
walking.
He didn't take the autopsy things. He took the crime scene files,
right, okay.
and he didn't bother to check any autopsy drawers or anything. So
What kind of detective are you? Honestly?
I'm the best.
Not you. You're
Oh, yeah.
no, but you're in a bush. A glittery, you know, a glittery bush.
he's just giving you shit.
He was talking to Lexi.
No,
No,
it's
he's
got
talking
talking to you.
Talking to you. But you
I haven't
didn't
done
know.
anything.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point.
You
What's the
didn't,
point of getting the?
you didn't check any morgue drawers. You just got some
Yeah.
paper and photocopied
Where's
it.
the autopsy? The whole point is we need to know how we died.
Didn't really have a lot of time. There was an unconscious woman on the floor.
You're all day, mate.
Wait,
That
what?
gives you more time, doesn't it?
Story of my life.
Not really, because I didn't really want to leave her too long, because I didn't know exactly how injured she was.
Okay. Once she's unconscious, one would assume that she was quite injured.
Yeah, that's why I didn't spend a lot of time looking.
Okay.
Why? How long did you spend looking?
10 minutes. That's about all I felt I could really give it.
The thing is, we'd feel it our duty to give you a little bit of shit about what happened.
You all give each other shit. It's like friendly ribbing.
Yeah, yeah.
Kids being kids.
So, right. So we've had a look at the notes that she's given us.
I've put them in my backpack,
Yep, that's
so
fine.
I know in possession of notes.
Not
Is
to-
there anything else?
Discussions of Jenny and
Is there
Tom.
any- Oh, I'm just making sure she's finished before I drop the bomb.
Okay, that's fine. Oh yeah. Have you seen them yet? No. You've not seen them, so you don't know actually what happened. Plus, you don't know what he saw. So yeah, shoot, carry on.
Have you finished?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? So we. Well, I mean, you're not under house arrest because you're here, but right. Anyway, my night was quite fun as well. Basically, I met up with Lexi and Harrison. We had a little thing at some old man's house, and then I need to come back to school to pick up my notebook and my pen. My locker had been defaced. Hoss face is in like 3 now. It's just devastating. Anyway, so Todd and Jenny were there. Todd's gonna punch me in the face, but then Jenny stops him, and then they start walking off. So I decide to follow them. They get to the middle of the field. I'm hiding behind one of those pushy things that the football players use. Yeah. And then Todd Johnson looks at Jenny, pulls out a knife, slices his own throat.
Wait, what?
Let me finish, it gets better. Slices his own throat. Jenny has no expression on her face. Todd Johnson dies on the floor, blood everywhere. There's no way he survived, I've seen films. Jenny then walks towards the fence where a second Todd Johnson is waiting. I didn't stay because that shit's weird and I needed to tell Harrison. So I ran. Has she seen Todd Johnson
Nope,
today?
she's not seen him yet.
So to save you
But-
the surprise,
at
go on.
the point, you can look out of the window as Todd and Jenny literally parade across the
Okay.
across the courtyard outside, and you can just be like, point.
So if you look to your left, you will see Exhibit A. Not Todd Johnson acting in the body of Todd Johnson.
Yeah, it's like
This morning he walked up to me and offered to help sort out my locker, and it was genuine.
Wait, so when you saw him die, did you not, go and tell somebody?
No, he told me.
Right, so
Isn't that, mentally scarring or anything?
let me throw this out to you.
true,
If
sorry.
I went to a policeman and said, I saw Todd Johnson slice his own throat, and Jenny Floss stood there, and then Jenny Floss walked off with Todd Johnson, would a policeman take me seriously, or would he think I was having a nightmare?
Well, he might think something's wrong there, but I'm sure if you maybe don't tell him about the other Todd Johnson and show him the body of the actual Todd Johnson.
Oh
he's
yeah,
not
I'm just
gonna
going to
think
drag him
that's
off the field when they're both at the end. Nah. It's like, don't mind me, I'm just dragging this torso with me, you know.
Well, you can leave it there and go and get them to come and see it.
Have you heard anything on the news? The body's gone.
I haven't been around.
Well, now you know. Anyway, nothing's been on the news.
You've not gone to check, to be honest, but
I think we'd have heard,
yeah,
to
you
be
would have
honest.
heard, yeah.
Nothing's been said about dead Todd Johnson, whether that was the real Todd Johnson or what. But I mean, look out the window. That moron's not Todd Johnson. He's had good opportunities this morning to punch me in the face or put me in my locker, but he's not. He's
Give you a
Maybe
tonic
he's got
wedgie.
laid.
look
Do
at
you,
him.
do you know what that is as a kid? Yeah, I suppose you would.
I've seen
Aren't you
films.
like 12? Oh yeah, shit. Yeah.
I've seen films and it's in everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think really that's a good explanation. Just getting laid doesn't really do that to you.
Well, have you tried following him or trying to see what he's doing?
Last time I followed him, he slit his own throat. So if I follow him again, I'd rather take somebody with me.
I can go.
Take Harrison.
That is fine.
I can't stick around. I've got to get back.
That's fine. You get back. But I mean, at the minute, them two are spreading love out there like it's crack or something. So everyone's happy and off their heads, and shit's just getting weird. Does Lexi hear this? Seeing as she's outside.
Apparently so. Are you still sat underneath the windowsill?
Do you?
Like, in the bushes underneath the windowsill, underneath
You know
his
where I
open
am.
Are you still in a bush?
I'm
Because
like
she
a
knows
ninja.
a glittery ninja.
Yeah.
that doesn't really answer anything of where you are.
Ninja. Glitter.
You're a shit ninja because didn't she find you out because you shouted?
Yeah, well, obviously. I shouted, so
Ninjas don't
you know.
shout
Yeah, they do.
And they don't dress up in glitter and hide in a bush.
or
No,
unicorns.
if you were trying to be a ninja and you went blacked out, they're gonna be like, oh, there's a ninja. But if you're going glittery, they're not gonna think there's a ninja. They're gonna think, oh,
There's an idiot.
There's a knob in a bush.
yeah, they're not really looking for you. Are they? They're gonna be looking for a ninja. They're not gonna be looking for someone in a glittery outfit.
They don't need to look for you. You're there.
Yeah,
Who's ever seen a glittery fucking bush?
Wait, I think you're missing the point here.
I think you're missing the point of what you're doing.
This argument happening with you hanging out of the classroom shouting at a bush?
Yeah, it's just him leaning up, leaning his chin on the window, going, "Will you fuck off?"
Did you hear that, you knob?
Yeah, haven't you got something
Did you
to be
hear
going
it?
stalking?
Right, so
Okay.
yes.
Do you mention dreams at this point, or do you just kind of?
No,
keep them to yourself?
I'm
You
still not
keep
seeing a
them to
link.
yourself?
I'm still not seeing a link between them, to be honest.
That's
so
fine. What I might do.
I can't particularly remember the first one.
The first one was an experience, again, like the other thing, not sure whether it was a memory or whether it's out of your own eyes, of being in a room, seeing a freestanding, full-length mirror, watching someone who you assume to be yourself, a reflection of yourself, with scratches, bloody scratches all down their arms, looking out of this thing with brushing a leaf from their hair, and then stepping out of the mirror with a jagged piece of glass brandished like a knife.
Okay.
And that's what the first dream was.
Right. Okay.
Now,
I remember the second.
shall we take a short break and then do?
Yes.
And then we can come back and do more discussion and stuff. Now, what was it you were discussing? There was discussion going on, and somebody wanted to spend a penny on something.
I could just hear the faint sort of. I can hear the buzz, and I can also hear the mutterings of the groundkeeper.
Chili.
Groundkeeper Chili. He's an Irish chap, I believe.
Or Mexican, either way. Wait, is that racist?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Kind of.
Just by being a gardener, if you're Mexican, does that make you racist?
Have you ever
You
seen
have
the
called him
Ringer?
Chili as well.
Have you ever seen the Ringer?
Sort of all fits in.
Have you seen the Ringer, the film with Johnny Knoxville, where he tries to
And if I make him frilly, then it makes me a homophobe as well. So
He does. Let's just call him Groundkeeper Billy, and he's Irish.
yes,
Yeah, that's safe. No
Yes.
one gets hurt.
there we go.
It's a
Absolutely.
close rip-off to The Simpsons that we didn't want to mention.
But it's fine.
So
The Plimpsons.
the
Wait,
Stimps.
the Plimpsons aren't out at this point, are they?
No.
No.
Not quite. Mid 80s.
No. Yeah, it's like 87, I think.
Okay. So what is the gardener going to do?
I wonder.
I've already paid one of those.
Have you spent it already?
Yeah,
That's
you
okay
did
then.
one
Oh
before.
shit, yeah.
Um,
Hit me with your best shot.
I believe he's going to.
Try and
He thinks the bush near the window.
is vacant. Because why wouldn't you?
No, well, vacant.
And
But he
you-
also thinks that it's a bit,
Literally.
you know,
Bushy.
yeah, you know, a bit,
Plump.
yeah, a bit over the top.
Paul.
Yeah, he thinks his bush needs a good trim.
Okay. That's fine. Well, it comes past, it's like... what is the reaction to Lexi, who has literally been looking through the window this entire time going, shouldn't we not? You know, just literally just back and forth with... Do you notice this and just like...
I'm leaving this to happen.
Like, you've watched it happen just like
I'm
any
gonna
minute
stop
now.
saying
Like a car crash in slow motion.
Yeah. I'm gonna just let this play out.
Okay. Okay, so this thing, would you like to make me some sort of scamper roll?
To 10.
Try
On a
again.
D4.
Your scamper's like a D8 though, isn't it?
Still not 10 though, is it?
Unless you're...
What is it?
What did you say I failed?
What exactly? Okay, so you get hit by a...
Smooth criminal.
Just roll. There you go. You got your 4. You managed to dive out of the way of this thing, but it took a chunk out of your hair.
Oh, I'm fucking this guy up. I'm fucking this guy up.
Your do...
Groundskeeper Billy.
You know that do...
Did he cut the ponytail off?
No, you know that do, you know that sort of big hair that they all have in 80s things. Basically, there's just like a little bit out the front, just like a little chunk. Reporting him to the head teacher's fine.
You would have to reword it. though.
Yeah.
Rip me the hair.
It's the words
Yeah,
actually on the
it's
list.
written. I actually wrote it in big letters as well to make sure that it didn't happen. So yeah, this thing basically just zoom across your head, and you go running out of there, and find yourself on the fast track trying to find the headmaster's office, so you can be like, this guy's messed my hair up, you know, abuse or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. So doggo, where you going? Yes. In the classroom, do we go? It's difficult because there are two things now that I
I'm
would
still
like
on
to
the floor
run.
laughing.
You're still laughing.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it.
Okay.
Wait,
The-
what's groundskeeper Billy's reaction? Because obviously he notices someone.
No
running out
idea.
the
He's
pub
got earphones on and he just goes.
and just carries
He's
on.
listening to Daniel O'Donnell.
He passes it and he has no idea what he's done at all. It was just like
Goes
the only
back for
reason why he
a
got this
swat.
bit of hair was just it was there and he just went boom over the top of it and then just carried on and he had no idea what he's done to you at all. So when it
The
happens,
mental image to me, like,
if it comes down to it, he will deny it because he has no idea and he'll be like
I have got witnesses.
well,
I
why the
didn't
fuck were you
see-
hiding
I
in the
didn't
bush
see
for? You know,
I saw some good shit, but I'm not owning up to that.
I'm not doing that accent again. Bollocks to that.
Which accent?
That one. Where they say, why the fuck are you hiding in the bush for? And then that sort of thing. So, that is what he would say. Why the fuck are you
Obviously,
hiding in the
he's
bush
making
for?
around
Because-
kids. He should be checking
Why are
every
you
bush for
hiding in
kids.
the bush for?
Why should he check a bush for kids?
What people do shit in bushes.
Not kids.
I think they do.
Did you used to do... No, actually, let's not do that. So anyway, you go zooming off. Now, I think we should continue with this first. Although it does create certain metagaming opportunities. So I think probably best continue with Lexi because of the fun of her. Zooming off across the lawns trying to find the headmaster. When you spot Marcy at the tip of a human pyramid.
I'm going to push it.
Now the human pyramid,
I'm going to kick the person that's coming down.
you watch this human pyramid from the other side of
I made my
the
decision.
from the other side of the
legging
sort
it.
of yard.
I'm
You
legging
spot
it.
this thing, but before you even get anywhere near it, one of the girls at the bottom just kind of goes, "Ooh," leg goes, and just the entire thing.
I'm
Marcy ends up on her back in the mud.
I'm going to run over and stamp on her head.
Right, well, that's not going to happen because she's surrounded by all these people,
Yeah, but they're on the floor.
and they're
They're not going
all
to see me coming.
they're all basically
What I'm
trying
gonna do is I'm gonna
to
run
pick,
over all
they're
of
all
them.
trying to pick her up. Wait. Now, you know she's as vain as you. So you bide your time, you circle round, you know exactly where she's going to go. Stop.
That's just coming over the school PA. It's just
Alright, okay. Now, You follow her, you basically sort of, you know exactly where she's going, you circle round, you bide your time, you do something very un-Lexi for a change. Completely change your stalking style, because you've literally just been in her face for the entire sort of last couple of days, just trying to sort of scare her. Now, you wait, because you know exactly where she'll be. The look on her face when you walk around the corridor, or walk around the lockers in the girls' changing room, after she's just got her cheerleader costume, rinsed it out under. She's in like trackies and a t-shirt. She's rinsed this thing out underneath the under the showers and come back into the room, and just walks like sort of, you know, the benches along the locker sort of thing. She's at one end, you're at the other, and she sort of walks around the other, and she's like, and then just rinses the thing out, and then looks up and goes, "Hi."
I'm fucking her up. Running clothesline.
Not even going to give her a chance to speak or anything.
Running clothesline. Into the showers.
Oh, ooh, what's this a Benny for?
Locker floors are slippy.
I'm going to throw a Benny into the I don't slip.
It's not like a Benny to counteract.
No. I like the idea of that, because there's water off this thing. So make me a scamper roll.
Stop being a bell end.
No, this just makes this isn't him screwing you over. This is
It
making the
is,
story
he's
more
being a bell
interesting.
end. He's been a bell end. Yeah, fuck you, Fred.
Okay,
12.
that's 12. That is a success with.
I'm even
2.
going to slide a little bit and flip off nothing, just like over to that direction. And then hit with the clothesline.
Okay. Yeah, you just like you go. Oh, you even got the shift as well. So yeah,
Two shifts.
You clothesline her and just take her off her feet, and she just
Straight into the showers.
She just lands on. Stop. She lands on the floor. You just clothesline her. She lands sort of on the tiles, and she's just like, like sort of a fallen and I can't get up. Wind knocked out of her.
We'll climb on top of the lockers. I'm going for a diving elbow.
Okay, that's fine. So it's going to take you a few seconds to climb up there. So she's laid on the floor of the changing rooms. What's this now? Oh no, keep on there. She's laid on the floor, and she's like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for, it's not my fault that you got knocked off you got taken off the cheerleading squad.
It's too late.
Okay. Now, you climb on top of the lockers. She manages to get to her feet during this time. Well, as long as there isn't a 1 on this thing, it's fine. She doesn't slip in the water. She manages to get to her feet, and she's like, "We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. You can stop, and you can have your friends back. You'll be back on the squad in a couple of weeks. It'll be fine."
No, I want blood.
I don't think that's something you would say. Okay. Exactly.
I want to kick your face in.
Okay. She's like, and that's understandable. It's can we not be friends? We were friends once, and you were in kindergarten, but now you've just become
kindergarten, bitch.
Okay. So she's like,
I don't know.
So she looks and is just.
She looks confused because she has no idea what Ben's just said.
Well, she looks. She looks down one end of the thing, like thinking, I'm going to have to go past you to get out, because there's only one way out of this thing. She's got the shower room behind her. She's got the long changing room and the exit door at the end.
Come at me then.
And she's basically going to try and make her way past you, just like run and dive underneath your flying attack. Now, this will be a contested roll, and her as a fellow cheerleader is on a D8, but you have a D8 with a wild D4, unless you would like to focus.
No, don't need it.
No? Okay, that's fine. What have you got?
A 2 and a 1. Probably needed it.
2 and a 1? It's alright, she got a 2, so...
Okay.
Are you throwing a Benny in?
No, if she failed as well, it's just going to be hilarious.
Okay, I'm going to throw in a Benny.
Oh, I will then.
As the GM.
I'll counter you.
You can't counter my Benny.
I'm just doing it for
Watch it get a 1 now. No, it's a 3.
I'm going to counter yours. I'm going to try and roll again.
No, it's fine. She dodges this thing. She dodges this move of yours. Skids, stands up at the so she's facing. You're on the floor now, like crouched down and stuff. She's looking back along the thing. She's got a wet costume in one hand. And she looks at you, and it's just like, bitch. And from behind her, you can see. It's weird. It's kind of like you think, shit, did I hit my head? Because you basically like imagine somebody like osmosing into two, whatever it is, just splitting into two. It's like either she's split into two, or an exact copy of her has just stepped out to one side of her from behind.
So she's split into two. That's
Probably in your mind because you're Lexi and have absolutely no idea what's going on at all in the world at any time.
Did he not hear what we said before, though?
No.
I don't know.
He was outside the window. And I
Did
thought,
you hear what we said before? Nope.
Nope.
Right, let's put it
That
there.
smile and the
makes
7,000
it
Tinder
perfect.
The
swipes in that
emptiness
time.
of what?
Yeah.
You didn't even know what
I don't
I
know.
just said a minute ago.
Okay, well this copy, you just like Marcy just looks at you as bitch, and then just backs up,
Right, I'm going to
and
try
has that
really hard.
moment, has that moment where she backs up, but she backs up, turns round, and just like looks for a moment like,
How hard do I have to, roll to split into two?
probably about 97 shifts
Right, let's go. Let's go.
in
You got
one
a 2 and a
roll.
1.
There's a 2, so you will not be doing any splitting into 2, and that is also
If he rolls another dice, can he break a leg? His own
leg,
Yeah.
whilst trying to split into 2.
Or,
Wow.
because he's trying
Shit
so
himself.
hard, shits himself.
Sometimes it's fun to be a retard in a game. Yeah, if you'd like to roll again with focus, you may break your leg in the process or shit your pants.
I'm going for shirt pants.
And you can use a Benny.
So I need 97.
If we get the success, then if we get the failure on this, then you
Yeah.
spend a Benny. Pants shat.
It's there.
Okay.
Pass it down. Because you're trying so hard. Go on.
Why do I do so
Just a
many
little
shit?
rosebud.
Ah!
Is that failures?
It's a 7.
Is that not just a long one?
Okay.
Oh, what the
So you see this happen, and meanwhile, while she's staring into the eyes of apparently herself, you sort of stand there and go, and don't manage to split in two. So the odds are still.
Ben,
2
try
to
again.
1. But
Try, Ben,
no.
try again.
Yes.
Try again to split in 2.
Yes, and a Benny has been spent, so a little bit of poo comes out at the same time.
Yes! I didn't try again.
Now,
I didn't try again.
Try the first
I did
time.
not shit myself.
Try again.
I want
No.
to spend a penny to not shit myself.
no, you keep the Benny.
You can't counteract the Benny.
Exactly.
This is the penny for me to go, oh, I like that.
Now, at this point, you don't
What?
really need to worry about splitting in half, because
She gets cut in half.
now, 1 minute, Marcy picks Marcy up and swings her against a locker like a baseball bat.
Can I go and join in?
Well, you basically watch
Which one's which?
from the other end.
No, we're going to do a 3D.
From the other end-
She's got her up, I'm going to go,
From the other end of the changing room, you watch this girl get picked up like a baseball bat or a softball bat and smashed against a metal locker, crumpling and falling to the ground underneath it. The copy stares down at her for a second and then looks up at you. Standing there going,
He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't genuinely know what to do. He's
What's-
like,
hasn't got
what's your reaction?
running clothesline.
You going for another one?
Yeah.
Okay, make me roll. And this isn't the standard. This isn't the standard hitting a 4. This is higher.
just be funny.
What do I need?
Higher.
5.
Nope. What's that?
4 and a 1.
4 and
We
1.
roll the 4.
5. Yes, I got 5.
The clothesline. You basically run up to this girl, and just like the clothesline hits her, but it doesn't knock you off your feet. It doesn't knock her off her feet. It basically just puts you kind of like like in a dancer's sort of one of those.
I'm going to wedge you. Right, what do I...
Well, she gets her attack first.
Oh, okay.
Lexi's not coming back next week, is she?
She grabs you by the lapels of your jacket and throws you
I'm
the
gonna kiss
length. Throws you the length of the of the locker room
Can we not? Can we
into
not?
a metal
Let's
doodah.
not skim over the fact that he tried to kiss her while he picked it. Like,
No, that was just in his mind.
No, I tried. I thought that's where she was going. I thought this was going with.
Okay, well then, that 1 second you're like, hey, this is kind of hot, and then next minute you realise
I think this is probably
you've just
fiction.
hit a set of lockers at however many miles per hour is enough to make you see blinding white light. Now we'll see how many wounds this does. So basically, you are shaken now. So
Not stirred.
nope,
So why do I put shaken?
that's fine. What we'll do is we'll use one of these just to denote that you are shaken. You will have to spend a penny on your next turn to get rid of that, or you can roll a pluck roll to get rid of it. I'm just going to spend pennies instead. Okay, that's fine.
There's too much.
Okay, that is the end of that. That is the end of that. You
No,
are
no,
now.
I'm not done. I'm getting. I've got fight time.
That's your entire turn. You managed to shake yourself and get up. She then, well, let's just see if Marcy gets up.
Of course, she's not going to get her head smashed in.
No, she's not smashed in. She basically just got hit. Her entire body hit this locker at once. It wasn't like, the head was bashed off or anything. You going outside?
Go for it.
Alright. So, yeah, this girl basically just got used like a life-size, a big-size bat to hit the lockers, and now she's torn between you and. So we got a number 3 for Marcy. We got number 5 for you. Steps towards you, this clone, and you kind of feel. You feel it get a bit like sort of cooler in the room as she comes towards you, but she just runs up and just boots you in the side. And now we'll roll. That's an 8
Don't kill me.
and a 5. That's 13. So that's 2 shifts. So you take 2 wounds.
Okay.
This thing basically could cave your fucking rib cage in. It feels like you've just been hit by a car.
I feel like the first time.
Got this.
Like she's
Like the
just
very first time.
like Iron Man's just kicked you in the side. Iron Man out them comics, yes.
Yeah.
It's like Iron Man's just kicked you in the side. It is now your turn. You are laid on the floor, but you are now shaken, and you have. Oh no,
Unstirred.
You would be shaken and take 1 wound, or you can just take 2 wounds.
I'll take just 2. That means I can do something.
Okay.
Should I kiss her or should I put wedge her?
We're not there. We can't help you.
Remember we said about somebody dying this week.
Yeah.
Make good choices, Ben.
I'm going to throw glitter in her
Right,
eyes so she
Celine.
can't say.
Where from?
For jacket, dickhead.
Spend a penny, and I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
You just twat her in the face with the sleeve of your jacket. And all
Yeah,
the
she
glitter
can't
comes
see
off.
now. Now it's time. Good kiss her.
Blinded by glitter. Let's do that. But that would be... Okay, so you're really going to do those 2 things on that turn?
Oh.
You're going to do the glitter thing?
Yeah, I'm going to glitter her and then I'm going to trip her up and lay it.
Okay.
I'd prefer if nobody ever used the verb to glitter around this table. Just for future reference.
Make me a roll to try and trip her up.
Glitter something.
Which should probably be your fighting, I think, in this now. you have a fighting skill.
I do have a fighting skill.
And you roll your d4 unless you'd like to focus as well.
I have a 4 and a 5.
We roll the 4.
I have a 7 and a 5.
Okay,
She's
so
on
that's
the floor.
that's a success, but no shift. Okay. You managed to get her to 1 knee, not the 4 though.
She's slippy though, it would have been easily trip her.
Not here, it isn't.
I've put my foot down.
She threw you the length of the thing, so you've managed
Yeah,
to
but
put...
she's got glitter in her now, mate.
Yeah, that doesn't
Just
affect
on
the
one.
steadiness of a
How
horse.
do we not know that glitter isn't their weakness? I mean, this is a new thing.
That's a good point. It's a very... Do you know what? Take that, because...
I'm going to
yeah,
spend
it's
a penny to
very
make sure
valid
she
point.
falls down.
It's just what you call it. It's just Lexi's logic.
I'm going to ask her where she got a lipstick as well, because I like it.
Okay. Before headbutting her or something. See, that's kind of something that I would see your, like karate bitch sort of cheerleader type thing. Where'd you get your lipstick? Really nice. Hooey,
And she don't go anywhere else, like.
One of those. Okay, now, well, I believe you put her down to 1 knee and then you're going to headbutt her as a bonus.
No, I'm going to kick her in. No, I can't.
You kicked her in the
Karate
leg.
chop.
You kicked her in the leg to drop, to drop her to her knees.
Do it.
You've already glittered her in the eyes.
I'm poking her in the eyes as well.
Just to rub it in.
Yeah.
Just,
With that noise.
is that the noise?
What's the noise? Just for the.
What was that?
You sounded like a raven doing
No, mine's what's he called?
it. Send a raven.
No, Stabby Man from Futurama, the robot who like stabs people. You know that.
Then do the noise.
Okay, much better. Anyway,
Okay.
so you poking her in the eyes. Make me a roll, fighting roll. Best just keep the fighting dice out because you're going to need them for a bit.
A 4 and a 2.
Okay, yeah, you poke her in the eyes, and she's just like, it's not like a normal, like you would expect somebody to go like, ah, you know, or out, or something along that lines, but you hear this kind of like, this, like an inward sort of yell, almost like sort of, like water down a drain, like a sort of noise, but it's kind of like, you know.
I'm gonna shout Devon, get the tables and pulp.
Now, as she rises to her feet and then tries to headbutt you,
No, I said I was running after that, so I'm out the door, mate.
well, you've just dropped her to her knees and poked her in the
Oh,
eyes.
boom, run. I can do that on one go.
That's fine.
Big
She's going to rise to her feet and basically chase you down the end of the locker room. The locker room is locked. True to form. But as you make this realisation, when you go like...
I'm just going to wait for her to get so close she's going to hack me.
You turn around, and over Marcy's crumpled body, you see this copy of Marcy just like looking at you with like, you know, the glitters on the eyeball, but she's staring daggers at you.
I'm going to wink at her.
Meanwhile, okay, you can wink at her, but then the camera will smash cut to these guys. Still sat in the room, completely oblivious of this. You've been discussing...
Chloe's gone to the bathroom.
Chloe's gone to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You guys have been talking for a while, for a good while before Chloe decided to go off to address bladder situation. For a while.
Yeah, for quite a while.
You're uncertain about the number.
Yeah, it's just a long time.
Yeah, it's quite long for a 1. But girls do
Might be able
Probably
to
definitely having a dump.
possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
But your boys, you'll joke about this sort of thing. So, Mr. Avery, the English teacher, is he's like Chloe would consider him good looking in a sort of gruff 30-something kind of way. He looks permanently tired. He dresses kind of like a young Pythagoras von Beethoven, all tweed. He drives a second-hand, or he wishes car. It's kind of like 22nd hand. It's a piece of shit mobile, but it runs. Now,
Red Toyota Yaris.
Lexi would have seen. Wow. Motherfucker. No, actually, but thanks. Now, if you
Got a penny for that.
if you know,
Oh, is that how it works?
if you spoke to Lexi about him, you'd hear she'd probably have heard the rumor about the fact that he got divorced for being a workaholic and had to move to Freehold to get away from the big city. Chloe ran the big expose on him in the first place when he first became a teacher in Freehold, probably about 6 months ago, and was quite severely edited. That was probably where her problems really began, because of poking her nose where it shouldn't have been, especially all the stuff about the divorce and the reasons about his, especially about things about him having a semi-permanent nightly residence at Scarlett's Bar. He's quite a regular there. The fact that he's permanently tired, he doesn't get on with Pythagoras von Beethoven, that sort of thing hasn't gone unnoticed to a lot of you.
Well, he's a massive Jimmy Nail fan as well.
He does wear crocodile shoes.
And he does have a nail around his neck called Jimmy.
No, he has the... Somebody once, like kids tell stories and stuff, and like things get... Apparently, one of the kids when he first joined, sort of when they said, so what's with the nail? You're trying to save up to build a house, because he's not the richest. He's not the richest. He's a typical he's a typical broke-ass teacher type person. Sorry, I didn't mean that. But they literally just said, "Are you trying to save up to build a house?" And he's like, it's a gift if you must know, or it was a gift if you must know, a token.
I got it off your mum.
Nice. What, the teacher flipping kids shit?
Well, he's quite a hipster teacher, isn't he?
I don't think he's cool enough, even though he looks hipster, because he's got the little goatee and he's got the, he's kind of like greying, and he dresses like, in tweed and stuff, even though he's sort of...
You sure he doesn't wear Lonsdale polo shirts?
Possibly, if Lonsdale was a thing back then. Although this guy permanently, he wears brown and greens and that sort of thing. So, this guy, he loves his subject. Like there are like Pythagoras loves maths. He loves maths, but he loves maths in a very militant sort of like you will learn maths because maths is really important. Without maths, you will die. Sort of thing. Where this guy is just like literature and English unlock the world. Without these, your life is not going to be anywhere near as fulfilling as he sees the beauty in all these sort of things, and you can imagine him at home in his broadcast, little apartment house thing, having walls of books, stacks of paperbacks, all of which that he's read, and that he just he treats them like his kids, sort of thing. Now, this guy's standing at the front of the class, and you haven't paid him any attention for the entire time while you've been chatting away to yourselves, and you've just kind of heard this together. And, excuse me, he just sort of, it's only after a short while. I was hoping that, no, not back from the Wii yet.
No,
This ain't a Wii.
It's diarrhea.
No, this is definitely
A big dump.
trying to find a joke, but I can't find one, or a pun. But there are none.
I found one before, it just needed editing out in the mix later.
Alright, okay.
Do we all agree?
I'll do that later, it'll be fine.
Good.
About the food.
Yeah.
Teach him to eat out.
But seriously,
also
you've got to follow the sheep.
When I do it, it's subtle.
I do it subtle.
Ben,
Just
you're-
get in the showers and jump around. How's that not subtle?
You're about as subtle as a car crash to the face.
Pretty much.
Pretty much to the taint.
Tainty car crash.
Anyway, now you've been sat there for ages chatting amongst yourselves. You've basically got a little sort of circle going on, kind of like this, but over two lines, because this is one where it's got actual rows. This is an older classroom, like one that's been there since the school was first built. You've got the sort of iron-rimmed window sort of things on the outside, and the room itself, it's old as fuck. He just seems to like this room for some reason. And after a good couple of minutes of chatting away to yourselves, it's only when he starts to talk sort of directly at you that you realise, most of the rooms left. The lecture has finished, and except the boy who was down the front asleep, still fast asleep. This boy is still crumpled over the desk, arms folded, face turned towards the window, absolutely just catching Z's.
I hope Chloe's okay. She's been gone a while.
Probably just sound like a massive turd, She's
Probably
like,
fell down it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So this guy, he sort of approaches. It's only when his voice kind of takes on a bit more of a preachy style thing when he's walking up this central aisle towards you, and it's like he's continuing his lecture, not directly at you, but you can tell it's directed at you because literally there's no one else in the room who gives a fuck, and it's like he's either trying to get your attention or just doing it just for the sound of his own voice. He describes an otherworldly place, both beautiful and hideous, where all things are possible. Clockwork servants mix with the living and the dead. Spirits converse with animals, and those in power rule with traits far more frightening than an iron fist.
Denton.
Where dreams can be lived for those that pledge themselves to the keepers. Experiences, wishes, desires, all for the taking, assuming your soul is sufficient to forfeit. Where time can dilate and expand, even stop. Meanwhile, on the earthly plane, years can fly by, cities can rise and fall. He glances up from his little reverie for a second. And those that dare to escape, who shed their bonds and return from the Fae, leave a part of themselves behind in exchange for a fraction of their keeper's power. For without it, how could they hope to break free of the hedge and once returned, not be dragged back to face punishment? And he just sort of, just looks at you, finishes his thing, and expects a little, it's like he's, anyone else you'd expect a little bit of,
I just wrote him down.
Where the hell did we get them? What's right?
What? Oh, that's from that guy, the old guy.
Is it? Because
Yeah,
he's
obviously
like
it is.
trying to check about that.
Oh yeah, that weird old guy.
Yeah.
That, when we were
Old Man Ackerman.
Old Man Ackerman. Oh, hi Chloe.
Good shit.
How was your shit? Piss.
Spiss. I had a good piss, thank you.
I'm not Swiss.
Chloe, why are you limping?
it was a good one.
All right, okay, good. Welcome back anyway.
Oh, you missed the whole fight scene.
You wouldn't know about it anyway. He
I've been
wasn't
hiding in
there.
my room. I've been hiding in my room because that fucking copper's not going anywhere yet. Some bitch.
Yeah, okay, good shit though.
Okay, so yeah, old man Ackerman was talking about that shit.
Yeah,
So that.
and considering like
Now, for Chloe's benefit, do I reread the what? No.
no,
I reckon.
Oh, she came back in, so she
just
missed
come
it.
back in.
Wasn't I home anyway? Aren't I at home?
No, you're here.
No, you've
you're
just
in
gone
the
for a
school.
poo.
You've
Yeah,
just
you
gone for a poo.
Fair enough.
We thought
you've
thought
been gone
you,
too long for a
you
week.
told
so.
us you went for a week, but we're all calling bullshit on it
Yeah.
especially
because you've
like,
been gone ages.
Anyway, Chloe, you've
Look for the
returned to the,
newspaper.
you've returned
right.
to the room to see to this classroom to see Mr. Avery halfway up the classroom stood in front of your friends Harrison and Michael, as though he's just sort of like given a Shakespearean performance or something. He's literally just done that, finished this monologue, and then
got a skull in his hands.
and he's just kind of standing expectantly in front of them.
Alas.
Yes, except no Yorick was mentioned in this.
It's the skull of Turner Macready.
It's funny because it's true.
Anyway,
I'll tell you, just for free, it's not.
that's good.
Anyway,
So, yeah, old man Ackerman was talking about that stuff, the hedge, and
Yeah, but do you remember what he was saying about the way he made it sound is that there was somebody else that was him, if I remember correctly, and
buried under the iron gate.
buried under the iron gate.
Iron grate.
But if it was somebody that was him, it sounds a lot like what I saw.
It sounds a lot like everything we've been.
So it sounds like it's all intertwined in a way.
it sounds a lot like to me. This is the teacher speaking. It's like, it sounds a lot like to me like you boys are referring to the changelings. Are you fans of the subject? Are you partakers? Do you have a taste for the Fae? For the Fae, what would you call it? Subject matter? Do you follow the works of? And he mentions like a few names of authors who've dabbled in the same sort of thing.
Yes.
Ed Elric Whitewolf.
Yes, I am. I'd quite like to visit Arcadia.
He's like, Arcadia is one place you would never wish to visit. For you, the chances are you would never return.
And why was
Though you do not get much of a choice in the matter.
I'm taking my chances.
Once you are there, all choice is taken away from you. It is a place of beauty, a place of nightmares, both in equal measure.
So you know quite a lot about this, then, sir.
I consider myself quite a authority on the subject.
So what of the fetch?
Purely, what do you call it? Matter purely hypothetical. Obviously,
So what-
these things are these are subjects of story and tale and and folklore.
So what of the fetch?
The fetch.
Ackerman was shouting something about the fetch.
Was he not talking
Who's
to me?
Ackerman?
Old man Ackerman. You've heard of him. He's
the old
I'm
man?
new to town. I don't know everyone yet. I've not worked my way around town.
Some
Is he
old
the poor
guy.
old? Is he the poor old bastard that the children have been throwing stones at?
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that
Have
guy.
you been throwing stones at this old man's house?
No.
No, we threw bricks.
You're not even here.
You're not there.
We
Said a
threw
voice-
bricks!
said a
You're
voice-
currently getting the fuck.
Said a
kicked
voice
out.
from the floor of the locker room.
Currently getting the shit kicked
He's
out.
about.
of there.
Ben's about to die, like for real.
I'm only wounded.
You just take 2 wounds and it takes 5 to kill you. so-
Yeah, I'm
And neither of them
You like
are
half an
60% alive.
Anyway, so what were you saying? Okay,
Actually,
so
quite
you
surprised
asked
you
about the
went
fetch.
That'd be great, mate.
Right now, listen to this because
I know.
to understand the fetch, you must understand the origins of the changeling.
This kind of sounds like some weird sort of tale about dogs. To understand the fetch, you must become the stick.
And he just sits, and, stands and looks at you like.
Can we just look at him as well?
It's been a long night.
I know you. I assume your rectum's dilated after that. It's quite a painful thing to go through.
Notice why I'm not sat down yet.
Kind of, he doesn't react too well to the poo joke. It's sort of like
Like he wants to laugh, but
like
he
he's
can't because
forcing
he's
himself to
teacher.
laugh because he's amongst the lads, and he's just like ha. Anyway, to understand the fetch, you must understand the origins. You must understand the world, the history, the legacy behind the changeling. The changeling, also known as the Lost, is a child removed from this world at birth, taken to Arcadia and replaced by what many would consider a doppelganger, or to the Fae would be known as a fetch. A fetch is a copy, an imitation that, in its perfectness, might not ever know that it is an imitation. Years and years and years can pass while this imitation goes on living the life stolen by the keepers, the gentry, the fairy, those of the great courts. Meanwhile, the originals, the whatever you would call them, are taken to live out a life in the Arcadia beyond the hedge. A life in which all dreams and all desires can be fulfilled, but for the price only of their immortal soul.
So,
mind you, this, like, as always, I don't wish to frighten, but these things are, things of forgive the use of the term, fairy tale
okay, right.
and
So
story.
this fairy tale. You say that the ones that are replaced are sent to...
Taken to Arcadia.
Taken to Arcadia.
By the keepers, their keepers, taken to a place where, they can see equal parts of beauty and horror.
So, what is the role of their, in a way, doppelganger that replaces them? Is it just to...
Simply to stop them from being missed. Mainly, they take children.
Mm-hmm.
Children of a very young age, because children of a younger age are easy to copy, easy to. Someone of, say, your age, if taken to try and fill a gap, filled by idiosyncrasies and tastes and loves for certain foods or languages or memories or hatreds or interactions with other people, much harder to fill. Whereas a baby likes the teat, laughs when its mother goes goo goo, etc.
Okay. So, even though, like you say, tale, story,
Absolutely.
in this...
For if such
in
a
this-
thing were real, then it would be the thing of true nightmares, true living
Oh,
nightmares.
definitely, yeah. But, what...
Right, so,
Go on.
sorry, how close has he stood to us?
Across a couple of desks, like sort of maybe not the door, but that cupboard there to me, so probably 6 feet.
So if I wrote a note down and passed it,
Absolutely. He's not, he's not trying to investigate or anything. He knows kids are kids. Like if you just passed it on a little note and just slipped it to the side, and he's just kind of stood there talking to himself for a second and just playing with the nail around his neck.
Something to wear.
And he mutters to himself about the spring court, the four main courts: the spring court, court of desire and beauty; the summer court, the court of wrath and strength; the autumn court of fear and mysticism; and the winter court, the court of sorrow and intrigue.
do you have first-hand experience with any of this stuff?
Sounds very Lovecraftian.
This is my field of interest. Why does anyone else follow a subject just for the joy of it? For example, for this, this is the thing of tale, of fiction, of as I say, if this was, if this were in reality, then one would consider themselves to be living out a nightmare.
So where did you live before this?
It just kind of drops his theatrical thing. And it's just like
Florida.
somewhere just south of Minnesota, just like big city boy more than anything. He's never moved. He's never been sort of further than a couple hundred miles away from this place.
Despite him being a city boy, would you say he was living in a lonely world?
No, absolutely not. Give me a fucking penny. You fuck.
So the way you said the way you answered that then,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything, did he say it confidently or...
About what? about where he's lived.
Where he's from. Yeah. Did he think for a second, or was it just a straight?
He doesn't like to talk about his past.
Okay.
Like, you know because of the... Oh, you're not there, but, you know, you probably know because you wrote the expose on him that was quite heavily edited, but you know the dirt, like, about the divorce and the fact that he was a workaholic and he used to live, you know, in a big town or a big city, and that was the reason why he got divorced and why he you know, fled to Freehold.
Sounds like he lived in a lonely world.
So where could we find more information on this if we were to
You take the train that way.
want to?
By the sounds of it, your friend Old Man Ackerman, you know, sounds like a man I should you know, introduce myself to at some point. We both, you know, seem to be fans of the subject.
Oh, we could all go together.
Yeah.
During school hours, I doubt it, but you know,
After school hours.
like, you know, what does this old man, you know, what did he say? What's his interest in this?
Well, actually, we could kind of do with you there as a translator, as it were, as soon as you know this much about the subject.
He mentioned a lot
And
of
they're
what
probably not
you've
going to take
said.
us seriously if we just.
Is he a dangerous man?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Is he going to use what you know, these discoveries or this any knowledge I can partake to him? This is all the tip of the iceberg that I'm discussing with you here. There are ramblings for hundreds, thousands of pages, millions of words on the subject. White Wolf alone has published many a tome on the subject.
I think you should come with us too,
Yeah.
and we'll go to Ackerman's with you tonight, and we'll introduce you. You're new to the town. The guy needs some friends.
I'm afraid I cannot. This evening, the school has a parents' evening, something to do with the two recent child disappearances. Now, and he's just kind of chunning away to you, and you just kind of see Mikey walk in into the room, and he's like, but then he just sort of goes fuck it and just comes and sits by you guys, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing in Boring McBoring's class? Bearing in mind, he has no idea what you guys have been doing, so you can bring him into this, but there are certain subjects he might be a little bit tender about.
Do we ignore him as if he's not there?
Mikey.
Is Mikey Jenny Foss's brother?
Yeah. Like the guy who you're like kind of indebted to and shit.
I'm not open to discussion or anything.
I'm not either. I'll keep it to myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, between us.
He just kind of sits with him and is like, well, that's what you're doing. You know, what you're doing in Boring McBoring's class.
Just listening to him. He's boring.
It's like, alright, cool. What's he talking about?
Random crap.
Sounds like he's talking about fairy tales. What's this about a hedge?
Oh, he's talking about gardening.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Keep keep it to yourselves. I was just gonna, like Jenny. Yeah, I've just seen Jenny. She says, really weirdly, but the parents are going away this evening for like a couple of days, and she wants. She said, do I want to invite some people over? Maybe we can have a party, get some pizza and stuff. She said she might even rent as a movie. Her and Todd have apparently got to go somewhere, and she wants us to hold the fort. All kids together and stuff. Keep us safe.
I don't think I can make it. I'm afraid.
Me neither. I've got quarterback practice.
Like, dude, this is what we waited for. We can rent and some horror film that you've always wanted to watch, and you've
I've
probably
already seen it.
I'm literally under house
it's
arrest. And I
brand
shouldn't even be
new,
here,
so you won't have seen it, but you'll have seen trailers for it and been like, oh, that could seriously change my mind.
So I'm
Plus
gonna watch it at his house.
free pizza as well.
Terminator 2.
I don't know, something early 80s. So some 80s cheese.
So we're going to
or,
the cinema to watch it.
84.
no, at his house. They're going
So
to
what's he
get
getting
they're going to get the video in.
So it'd have already been in the cinema.
Well,
I'd have already seen it.
straight to video then.
Oh well, that's not even worth watching.
But it's one of these imported
Predator
ones.
2.
From where?
From like Japan or somewhere. It's an imported horror movie
It's
that
perked
you've
up my
never
interest.
seen.
Oh,
just to
Godzilla.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying, yeah,
And
it's,
Mafra.
imagine like sort of, Wishmaster meets Godzilla, so like really horrible, but yeah.
I mean, even
Godzilla
though I'd
versus
love
King
to watch
Kong.
that.
Yeah, it's absolutely, I'm just throwing it out there that it would be something that you're going to have to be like, oh, that looks really good, but I'm going to peel myself away from it.
Yeah, I've got to go home. My dad's being a dick.
It's like, business as usual, gives you a punch in the shoulder.
And I've I'm the Vikings are playing tonight, so I'm going to go and watch that.
Like, no, they're not. The Vikings played on Thursday. You know, there's like at least a week between between games. Don't pull out shit. I mean, what's up? What's the matter?
Quarterback practice.
He's just signed up. Yeah,
I was going to do that.
He's like, dude, come
at
on.
half time.
Right.
Literally, if you don't turn up, it's going to be me and a bunch of Jenny's friends. Her new happy clappy. She seems to have like made some weird friends who are all just like, oh yeah.
The Muppets.
Yes. He's like, I mean, there's going to be plenty of girls there, but if you don't want to come, I'll sit and watch a horror movie with a bunch of girls for an evening.
Okay.
And something tells you from like the way he sort of just like goes, fine, and just kind of walks out that he'll remember that you've just kind of brushed him off, lied to him, and brushed him off. So Avery's just kind of stood and watched it. Like, he was not really watching, he's just kind of playing with the nail and just sort of like talking to himself, just continuing, like he's constantly on stage just fucking doing, but he just to himself, and he just kind of to himself, just bits about this stuff. Like he reads the books in his mind and he's got them on constant repeat.
Whereabouts is Mikey?
Mikey's just like, he's just sort of slumped out the chair and he's just stomping his way
So
down.
he's heading to the door?
Yeah, he's just leaving.
I shout him back.
He passes the boy who's asleep and he's just like, fuck you, and just like,
shout him back.
punches him in the side, and the guy just like stirs for a second. He's like, what?
I shout him back.
So he just turns and he's like, what?
Do you say there'd be pizza?
Yeah. Like, no, you dick, you had me for a second.
Gonna be any coke flowers?
This is their house, like they are well off. The parents are well off. It is not. It's strange because their daughter's only just come back from this thing. Maybe they're buying into the whole, child runaway
Well, I
thing.
guess I could come round for a little while. All I would have been doing is throwing a football with my brother.
It's like, that's cool. It's going to be like all evening.
You coming?
It's like, it's going to be all evening. I mean, you could, you can turn up.
Yeah, I'll have to switch a few things, but yeah, go on then.
Okay. Thing is, you're going to kind of turn up after the curfew.
That's fine.
Curfew's still 7. Turn up about 9.
Okay, it's fine.
Pizza arrives. The stuff gets delivered, and we just party.
Hey, Miss House Arrest, you coming?
If I can time it right and with the police officer, I might try and pop down later.
Okay, cool.
Do you have my number for the house?
Um,
Could you maybe think you might be able to sneak a phone call from her?
They would. Yeah, you'd have each other's numbers, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because you've known each other for a bit. So.
I don't have a phone, so there's no point in me.
Do you
knowing
live close enough for the walkie-talkies, or is it just you
we
two?
live really close to each other.
Okay, you two live close enough for the walkie-talkies.
Yeah, a couple of doors away from Chloe. Parents know each other.
Now, do we cut back at this point? Do we do some more, like with Avery and such?
I think we should go back to the locker room.
Okay. Well, what we'll do first, before we do that, in an interesting,
Is it like a hurt locker room?
It feels
pretty
like
much,
a locker room.
just to make the transition that bit more, says, Avery just kind of stands in front, he says, this should, remain the thing of story, it best remain the thing of story, because if these sort of things were real, the changelings, the returned, the lost, if you will, return, leaving behind a piece of themselves, but in return bringing with them the power of, a fair selection of powers and varied powers from their keepers.
So, when are you free to go to Mr. Ackerman's house?
It's like, the parents' evening isn't going to end until at least 9.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning before work, we could, is Mr. Ackerman a late riser? I assume with him, the way you talk about him, he's an older man,
He's
so
an
he'll be
old
up
guy.
early.
He'll be up with the with the sparrow's fart.
Nice. Okay, so he's like, right, okay, and he's made the arrangement to go and visit Ackerman's house with you in the morning. Now we go.
Dead by then.
We go back to.
Especially you.
We'll go back to the locker room. You are stood in the doorway. The door is locked behind you. This this copy of it's weird. You've got Monica Parsons laid on the floor, with blood coming from her mouth or something. Like she's been smashed in the face or something, and literally blood from her mouth. and an exact copy of Monica Parsons walking towards you with glitter rubbed on the actual corneas of her eyes and just like threateningly, like T-1000.
You don't know what that is.
Fucking hell. Like a mindless killing machine walking towards you, and you're pretty certain you know what's going to happen. What's the crack? This room has high windows, the ones that are like above locker height and are long and thin, the little flip-flop ones.
Chris, where's the poo?
Where's the poo?
He did a little poo.
Yeah, you dropped them off. You know,
Okay.
you had a chance to drop them off. He's
it's
carrying them
It's either
around.
try and run away or die. Those are my two options.
There are more options. There are various options, but
Well, I'm not going to kill it, am I?
I don't know, are you?
depends. It's up to you. What would your character do? Not what would you do. What would your character do?
I know what my character would do.
And scissoring is not
And this
an
is
option.
why we have a chat for you.
Right, so step 1, consult the chart. No, actually, step 1, think of what your character would do. Step 2, consult the chart.
To see if
Step
if
3,
step
revise
three.
everything you were just thinking
Yeah,
of and start
step
again.
3.
Return to step 1.
Does the door have a little lock on it?
It's got the little it's got a little key lock
Who
on
locks the door after people are in it? I mean, what kind of is this the caretaker
it.
again?
Someone who apparently is planning a double murder.
He doesn't have a key.
Not the what you call it? Not the caretaker.
No, but this thing wouldn't have a key. Where's he get a key from?
You got so far.
You
from
wouldn't be
this.
thinking about that.
Oh, you don't know about this shit because it's in the other. These things are. Oh shit! I have to get back to that. But these things are sneaky.
Have I got my walkie-talkie?
You wouldn't have in the first place, but I think because you become slightly more departed from the.
Help.
Give me a Benny, and we'll say you got your walkie-talkie on you. Is that your last Benny?
No. I have the other Benny.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So because you're slightly more, basically, you have no friends now. So you're like, do you know what? I've committed social suicide. So fuck it. I'm gonna carry my walkie-talkie around with me, and I don't give a shit.
Don't you even think about saying that?
So walkie-talkie.
I'm gonna hit it with the walkie-talkie. I'm only joking. I'm gonna see if they've got a walkie-talkie.
I have my walkie-talkie,
Well, you always have your walkie-talkie.
but it's not on because I'm in school and I'm respectful.
His is on.
Is it?
Yours
Yeah.
would be on.
Kid,
Guaranteed.
come save me! Run!
Okay, you hear this in the classroom, just as Mr. Avery's saying to you about talking about glamours, aka masks, aka seemings, and the fact that a changeling may change its seeming or the way mortals view it to better blend in, and that one changeling may have two separate seemings and may look like two separate people, or may choose not to have a face and to look like just blank, or to look like basically whatever it wants. But the average adolescent changeling has roughly two seemings, and at that point you Lexi watch this changeling walking towards you, continuing to walk towards you, and this Monica Parsons face changes. And the face it changes into is yours.
Right, so I know my weakness is glitter, so she's fucked right.
Your weakness is vanity.
That's how he'd actually think. That's how
Yeah.
she'd actually think.
Well, he's already had the Benny for that.
I'm gonna smudge your makeup. She'll be fucking pissed.
Okay, we just go up and just in the face.
So at this point, he shouted down the walkie-talkie.
Come
Shouted-
to the locker room, I'm fucked up.
Oh, is that it? Come.
He
to
didn't
the
shout
locker
that
room.
though, did he?
No, he just shout, "Come and save me, you dickheads."
In the locker room, dickheads.
Help.
So we don't know where he is.
I've said in the locker room, dickheads.
Okay. Yeah. So
Run!
I'm assuming all
Run!
haste, but at
That's
least
what
we're going to
sounds
get a couple more rounds out of this before anybody busts through the door, unless.
You run like fucking. Nope. You run like motherfuckers, don't you?
So, are you planning on messing the makeup up on this thing?
I'm fucking dead, aren't these fucking knobheads are gonna.
You do that across the face, and it's like the makeup is part of the face, like a mask. Like you just like imagine if you had makeup on a face and you did that across it, it would smudge. Well, this doesn't. It's like it's part of the face itself, and you just do like that across the face.
I'm gonna kiss her. No, I've got to go for it now.
No.
Okay, if you really want to.
Don't arrow.
To be fair, Lexi wouldn't think that there was anyone more beautiful in the world than her. So that's probably quite a legit move.
When am I going to get this opportunity again? Think about it.
Is it gay if it's yourself?
Well,
it's a very good point.
She is.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah. Well, we hadn't discussed that, but yeah, it was burgeoning sort of somewhere on the horizon in the brain. Mind blown. Yeah. So you have basically gone like that with the makeup, and then basically just gone for the full full kiss on this thing. I can edit that. It's fine. And she just kind of just like grabs you by the shoulders, pushes you back, and just looks at you, and then just sort of puts you in a headlock and just like walks you up the changing rooms. Picks up Monica by the scruff of her scruff of her shirt, and starts to drag you towards the shower room.
Are you running?
I'd say it's a good couple. It's a good 30 seconds.
You'd assume that the English department would be on the opposite side of the school to the PE department, wouldn't you?
Probably for the whole noise purposes and stuff, and because the PE department's actually part of the new build. You've got the sports hall that they've still not managed to sort the aircon in.
Ours was fairly far away.
Yeah.
They've still not managed to sort the aircon in the sports hall, so it's still very warm
And sweaty.
and literally this copy of you has now got you in a headlock and is dragging Monica Parsons' unconscious body up the changing rooms towards the shower rooms. What do you do?
Oh, scream and kick and shout.
Okay.
Let it all out.
Fucking hell. Do you know what? Take a penny for that. I think that's his first one. Is it? Possibly?
That might be pun virginity.
Pun virginity. Well, you heard it here
Can I
first.
try and trip her while she's walking?
You can try.
Can I cop a feel if they'll get her? Say I might as well. I'm going to die.
Roll me fighting, because you'd probably say this tripping was kind of a fighting thing.
I go for everything. I'm up. That was a 4. I shouldn't have picked it back up. I should have counted that as a roll. No, I got 5.
Okay. You basically managed to grab a leg and just like she's dragging you along, but it's slowed the process. You reckon you've probably got a few more seconds before you get dragged into this room. Okay, that's fine. This thing basically, it's like biting rubber. It's like biting a rubber.
Do I have a match or like a lighter?
Nope. You're a child.
Yeah.
And you don't smoke.
Yeah, you can have lighters for other things.
Not if you're a kid.
Yeah.
In the 1980s. I mean, yeah, matches if you're a Boy Scout. Do you want to fucking stop?
Just doing right. This is a wrestling match, and it's going to happen.
A mute wrestling match that's not going to happen because he's probably going to die before then.
Spoiler.
If I'm gonna die, I'm going all out. I'm just gonna keep fucking like poking her in the arm.
All right. Okay. So you literally you've tried to bite her to try and take a chunk out of her leg, and you bite it, and it's like like a dog with a chew toy that goes. It doesn't make any. It doesn't make any sort of like dent in it. It doesn't even puncture the skin. This thing it's like tough rubber. It's weird. It looks like skin. Looks like you. But literally, this thing looks like it could take a cricket bat and and not actually.
Bear with me, because this is gonna sound weird.
Well, of course.
Pause button at the ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, please brace yourself. It's about to get bumpy.
Do you want to check the chart first?
Let me check the chart.
You wanted a fight scene. You wanted a shower scene. Here it comes.
Please refer to your seat
It's on the
back.
chart.
Please refer to your seat back laminated.
I don't think this needs to
And
be on the chart.
sick bags.
I'm gonna reach down my pants.
Make sure you're buckled in.
Get some shit.
To be fair, we did make you poo yourself, so yeah, you try and blind her with it. I mean, she's already had glitter in her eyes, and that didn't work. So
Glitter and shit.
glitter and shit, yes.
Shitter.
So
Should it work? Should it stop her?
that doesn't work either. She's literally now just, it looks like you, but you look at it and you're kind of like, oh, you really kind of want to clean this face, because seeing your face look like that, covered in glitter and shit and scratch marks, really doesn't, it looks like you're like, I really need to clean that face because it's really fucking with your, your vanity and stuff. Now, at this point,
You were gonna get it. I'm trying to stop it.
at this point, you basically hear the door just like bum, 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 like somebody elbowing this door, like open the door, stop nicking about, you girls, you found the key again, god damn it, just literally just banging on the door, going, right, I'm gonna go and get the caretaker, and then just bum, 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 and it sounded like Pythagoras, possibly. Why he was going to the girls' changing room, I have no idea.
Oh, I know.
He left his piano in there.
In the girls' changing room.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mobile, he just leaves it, but he's getting on.
they like to hide it from him.
Piano bumps.
Damn kids. So, yeah,
Piano.
you've probably got, seconds. I mean, your friends are en route, I assume.
No, they're
Or
not.
are they still sat there chilling, going, so tell us more about these fetch?
They went and got some lunch.
No, we are en route.
Okay, just pegging it down the
Yeah,
corridors. It's literally this, like the slow motion turn around the edge of the thing, around the edge of the corridor.
Chariots of fire.
This
in the
thing,
background.
this thing is basically, this copy of you is basically dragging you into the shower room, drops Monica Parsons onto the floor, flicks this shower thing on, and then just like there's like a gully around the edge of the room where part of the drainage system, just like sort of just moves her and just puts her face into the water that's starting to rise up.
So she dead?
Well, very shortly maybe. Now, you are being dragged still under one arm. This thing hasn't responded at all to you biting and doing all that horrible shit. Still dragging you across the room, and is dragging you to the opposite side of the room. You're not sure whether it's to do the same thing or to do something else.
Okay.
Now, the banging on the door, it just sort of look round and it sort of hastens its progress.
Dead.
I'll start marking shit up.
Wow, she fucking crumbles that quickly. You wanted a fight scene. Where's
What am I
the...
supposed to do? You just every time I say something, you go, no, she's rock solid. No, she made of rubber. What?
do some shit. Change your tactics.
All right.
Poking her in the face,
Rubber.
biting her
You
leg.
just rubbed shit on her head. That was your attack. Your attack was to rub shit on her face.
14-year-old girl.
Yeah,
Not even allowed to talk about anything fun.
you
With-
rubbed shit on her face.
With a D8 fighting skill.
With the T8
She's
fight.
sick. Right, I'm gonna kick her in the face
That's more like it.
with
Roll.
my.
While you're in, is this while you're in a headlock?
Okay.
You're gonna
from
kick
that-
her in the face with your fist.
Like a weird sort of breakdancing move, you're just going to try and flip and just like run up the wall and kick her in the face. There's a D5. Right,
You got a 4.
6.
there's a 6. Okay, so you didn't get a shift, but you managed to basically like run up the wall, flip round, and just drop her onto her back. And you are literally, it's the point where you've gone from a headlock to being like run up, dropped, and it hurt, but she's on the floor.
I'm gonna put her in a figure 4 leg lock and get this down.
This is when he dies because he tries to get too creative.
Right,
I'm rolling for
we
figure 4 leg lock.
are outside the door.
Okay, you are outside the door and it's like bomb, 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 bomb on this door.
There's only
and-
movement in it.
I'm already
What,
rolling.
the door? No, the door's
Gonna
locked.
do a 2 stuff.
So there's no way we're breaking through it.
No way you're breaking through it. It's a steel door.
Sorry, mate.
I got an 11 on the figure 4 leg lock.
Now, this figure 4 leg lock, are you going for that?
Yeah, just roll for it.
Technically, she gets a move first, but...
Oh,
Okay,
she's on the floor, fucked up.
1 second. It's fine, she's not shaking anymore. And then you've got the figure 4 leg lock in.
Yeah.
Okay,
You rolled
Uh,
a ridiculous amount for it as well.
you've done that. What was it, 11? So you didn't get 2 shifts, you got 1 shift, so you've wounded her once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking her up. She's gonna tap. Got this.
In response, it's kind of like for a second it looks at you like if a mindless killing machine style thing could look at you and go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh wait, you've not even heard the best bit yet.
Looks at you and,
Check
and sort of
out.
goes, looks at you like sees what you're doing and just like works out what she has to do to break
Whoa,
this lock.
I haven't finished yet.
But she hasn't done it.
I look her dead in the eyes
It'd say, catch me outside.
Get outside.
You're ruining it. And they go, woo!
Righto.
Right, okay, in the
to
mean, that's Ric Flair, that's fine. No, it's perfectly.
80s?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Early 80s? Alright.
So, the meantime,
Let go of it.
we
Start
figure out
strutting.
we figure out that the other, obviously, all locker rooms lead out into the sports hall.
These ones kind of lead out through that door. It's like one corridor with everything bounding off. There are windows
Sorry, mate, we're
outside.
fucked.
There are windows outside. There are windows on top of the lockers.
Ow. What's steel weak to?
There are windows on top of the lockers. Never mind.
Mega steel.
So
Jet fuel.
the thing now. Did you get up or did you carry on? Did you basically hold her in place with the figure four?
Figure
leg
four leg lock wooing in her face.
lock? Okay, that's fine.
Just trying to picture
She breaks the figure four leg lock,
And both of your legs.
but doesn't manage. If she'd have got a shift, she would have broken her leg as well, but she didn't.
Alright, I'm gonna get up. The
So-
strut's coming out.
She's broken out, and you're wasting your entire turn to strut around. Have you completely lost your mind?
That's what happens when you get two wounds.
This is
There's a
gonna be
concussion
beautiful.
in there somewhere.
This is going to be beautiful. I'm just visualising this. Can you imagine it?
Right, and once I strut around, you'll go to her.
Right,
Backhanded slap across the
Okay
chest.
then.
Okay,
Backhanded slap across the chest.
Comes out.
that's fine. Well, you can't exactly fail on that because she's right there.
Roll for how many woos I gave before she slaps him.
Okay.
Six.
That's a 6, so yeah, you slap her across the chest and go woo.
Just
Yeah.
one of them.
What are you doing? Are you chopping? Is that what you're
Every
doing?
time.
How many chops does he get in?
For a second, it's like, like sort of weird sort of telly where it statics between two stations. She kind of statics between the moniker and between you, and then just sort of blinks a second
How many
and
chops
comes
does
at
he get?
you. You got one.
Just one chop.
Yeah, got one
Chop
of
and a
the woo.
woo.
Chop and a woo. She like flickered for a second, like glitched, and then she just comes at you,
I'm gonna do a drop toe, knock it down.
runs at you,
Drop the hole. It's when they're running out and they do that
runs
weird
at
thing
you,
and just drop
and
it.
pins you by the neck to the wall,
Right,
and starts to choke you.
I'm gonna bite a finger off.
She's got her hand round your neck.
Alright, I'm gonna kick her in the face.
I'm
Okay,
gonna snap
make me
my
a roll.
jaw and wipe her finger out.
It's a 5.
Okay.
Wee.
Right, well you kick her in the face, but it doesn't break the hold. She's still got you, and she's basically choking the life out of you.
I'm gonna take my shoe off and shove my toes in the nose.
Now, is there anything else? Right, is anybody else doing anything at this point? Are you still impotently stood outside the door?
No,
banging away at it?
I've gestured to Michael that we can get him through the window because one
Okay.
of them's open,
That's fine.
Send him wind.
How big are these windows?
big enough to get your skin
Yeah,
out.
big
Right,
enough-
just
big
because I
enough-
fit through inside a locker, I'm not like jumping through every window.
The windows are a little bit bigger than your locker. You'll be fine.
Alright,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
yeah. So we're working on that.
So you're running outside and just trying to get through these windows. Climb up to the side. One of you gets on the other one's back and is just like elbowing at this window to try and break it.
What are you doing, Chloe?
Yeah, what's Chloe doing? Has she gone for another shit, or
Yeah,
does she have a bowel problem, or
Chloe is trying to formulate a plan.
that's fine.
Is it a cunning plan?
It might be a cunning plan. Cunning as a fox, sir.
Right. So you are currently being choked up against the wall. Try and make me a roll to break free of it, or take another wound.
I'm gonna try and break free of it.
Okay. And this is all you can do. All right. There's your 4. So you've broken this hold now, and are literally just like gasping on the in the shower room floor. Marcy's face, Monica Parsons' face is now submerged in water, and you're not sure whether she's actually breathing or not. You can hear the door is like rumbling from outside, like somebody's trying to open it, and these two are basically trying to break the window from the outside. What is your action?
Don't get killed.
Gonna do something fucking stupid, I'm sure.
Don't get killed because if I get pushed in,
Just as he's dying.
just as she's
I'm gonna
dead,
change
she'll
character
go,
now. I'm now the ultimate warrior. And I'm gonna charge around.
Run round.
Let's see if catch this gun.
He's just literally sprinting
She clotheslines you, and you land on the tiles and take another wound. You land on the tiles.
How long was he running around?
About a second. Literally got halfway around her and she just went. The arm went out. I say she. The arm went out and you just landed on the tiles. So explosion of stars, and then she's got 1 foot on your neck. Now, at this point, through the window, you see what looks like Monica Parsons standing on Lexi's neck. Not Monica Parsons. Yeah, is it Monica? No, it's Marcy. Sorry, not Monica Parsons, because Monica Parsons is the other. So basically, you see Marcy standing on Lexi's neck, but you also see Marcy laid on the floor on the other side of the room.
Not looking too well.
Not looking too well, with a face in a gully filled with water. And there's like steam and stuff, but you can still see to a point. I'll round out that scene, not the session, but I'll round out that scene by basically when you don't break through this window in time.
Sorry, guy.
But by the time the caretaker and a bunch of other sort of underling teachers break in and try and get to you, you're unconscious, not dead.
Still worried.
It's just as an unconscious.
Marcy is in critical condition. She gets dragged off. She gets carted off to emergency rooms.
So I'm just unconscious, but she's nearly dead.
You've taken. Let's trade those in. Wipe those off the thing there. And under further hindrances on the back of your sheet,
Broken spine.
we're gonna write. We're gonna write on there broken ribs. Or several broken
Literally didn't
ribs.
write D'Lo Brown. He got broken neck, didn't he?
Several broken ribs.
Nearly got one.
And that's basically what we'll spend that on. Now that's a further hindrance which can be used against you to trigger bad things happening.
Well, it means you're not dead. So.
It means you're not dead.
It
means-
They got to have a style though.
I don't know. If he hadn't
Can he have a
scene,
Benny?
he'd have killed
Because-
himself.
You know what? All them 80s wrestling references took some
He's still got
absolute...
bennies left. He'll be fine.
They took some
And plus,
balls.
they don't carry over anyway. Plus, I've been giving him bennies for shit anyway, and his little punnage before. Now, we're not going to be able to do all of everything that I wanted to do because of the time. So, we're on an hour 15 on this recording. So, what we're going to have to do, I think, the end of this session, like, next one we'll do, if you want to do the parents' evening thing, you can do that.
I'd quite like to do the Ackerman's house visit with...
If you want to do the Ackerman's house visit, we'll do that. Well, the thing is, Lexi gets carted off to emergency room / mini hospital, whatever they've got in the town that deals with stuff like that. Patched up, deemed bad, but not to the point where she'd have to go to main hospital, like carted off to the big city. Plus the police just don't have the people to be able to do that at the moment. The three of you, Harrison, Michael and Chloe, leave the school. It's, you stay afterwards because you're just still talking about stuff and you're trying to piece together some shit, and Chloe's trying to get into the...
Probably want to try and get home shortly.
Yes. Oh, Chloe would want to get into that thing, but then try and disappear off home as well.
Quick question. As soon as we were outside the window, would we have heard Lexi wooing?
Possibly.
That's how you know you were at the right window.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how you knew, because you could hear this strange. You weren't sure whether it was this thing that attacked her,
Or was it Ric Flair?
but that thing appears to have disappeared.
Just into thin air.
Well,
He runs in with an
when
autograph
the people broke in, they only found 2 people.
And there was no other doors or windows that we weren't near.
Nope.
Okay.
So you're not sure where it went. Now
Oh, did it go anywhere?
she went home.
Must have done.
You're in the emergency room / at home recuperating.
How do I know? I'm not one of those things.
To be fair,
You don't?
you don't.
It's crazy
But
shit.
you weren't there. You weren't there when the talk of the fetch happened, so you're not sure.
You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, you haven't got a clue
So
anyway.
basically, like normal.
But how do you know?
Except with more wrestling.
We were there
references.
talking to the guy about it. We know quite a lot about it.
Yes, how do you know I'm not? I think that's what's up.
We don't.
Right, Ben, show us your sheet of writing about the fetch in Arcadia. Show it us.
On my piece of paper.
No, show it me.
Does it say anything about it? Apart from that sheet, don't read that sheet out.
Is that a blank page?
Yes.
No, I've got it.
Right, because that's mine.
Yeah,
Right, so
I was
that's the
there
difference
too.
in knowledge. You
Thing
weren't.
is, he's taken a
I
different
was
path.
at the house.
As Chloe is
I
taking a
took you
different
to
path,
the
Lexi's
house.
taken a different path, so it all works towards rounding the thing out. Rounding
No, I'm just
the
trying to
story
let
out.
him know how little he knows about it.
That's why I sort of had the little discussion thing. You can have discussions when you go to see her at home when she's all fucked up and shit. And what I'm going to do is the end of this thing, because I like to have these little sequences where at the end of the session it's sort of like either oh my god or something. Chloe goes home. Lexi's in the emergency room / at home, getting bandaged up and told off by her mum for fighting again. Now, when these people broke in, it basically looks like her and Marcy had a fight, and Marcy came off worst. And she basically nearly killed this girl. Very nearly killed this girl. The other girl, her injuries are unexplained because they have no idea how Marcy could have broken as many ribs as she apparently did. But this looks really bad for Lexi at the moment. Looks like she's really physically tried to kill this girl. And then tried to drown her before passing out. Chloe goes home and is under house arrest, stuck behind this it's a pretty little house, but she knows she's got a cop outside and she's one false move away from being in a prison cell. And you two live the school. You think, right, well, we've got this parent teacher evening we could have a listen in on. We've got the party later. But then sort of Mikey comes up to you and goes, have you seen Georgie? He was supposed to meet me. He was supposed to get me some stuff for tonight.
No, I'm not serious to that.
He's like, no, not that. He's like, well, he was supposed to be... I thought he was with you. He's kind of like, he's either with one of us, not the other.
No, I'm not seeing him. He's normally here all the time.
He's like, that's really weird. I really hope nothing's happened to him.
No,
He just kind of has a moment where he's like, fuck. And then this other kid comes running up. This other bunch of kids come running up, excited kids. When something's going down, the kids are just like, they're running around trying to tell people, but they don't do it by phone. They do it by just running around and telling people and knocking on and stuff. And one of them sort of bumps into you on the way past and is like, did you hear? There's a fire. There's a fire. Come on, look. There's a fire. Someone set a fire.
Where?
And you just people are passing you. Loads of these kids are just running past you down the street, and in the distance you can see this glow over the horizon. And it takes a couple of minutes to run up there to the bottom of 16 Candles, where a house you know very well is currently absolutely wreathed in flame.
Is it old man? What's his face?
It is indeed.
Motherfucker.
The grid, the metal grill thing with all plants growing up inside in front of his house. It looks like somebody's basically ripped it up out of the ground and then thrown it through his porch. His porch is fallen down, collapsed on itself. This thing's buried in it, and the hole underneath, because apparently there was a hole underneath this thing, is empty. It's just a hollow space underneath this thing. And it is fucking empty, like a sort of 3 foot by 6 foot
Because we assumed it was going to be
grave of sorts, maybe.
Well, that's kind of what we assumed.
Yeah.
Seems to be empty, and you two just stand there, absolutely fucking beside yourselves, watching this old man's house. Just it's
Not
an old.
literally beside
you
I
us.
know,
know,
because that would be in
Yeah.
keeping with the story. if
like
we were
I know,
literally
not like that,
beside
but
ourselves.
like the Addams Family house, massive house, fucking just burning, just absolutely like a torch. And that is
So-
where we would wrap this evening's session up. That
I
is
turn to Mike and just say,
something good.
at least it's not the HQ.